After Chen Xiang and Long Shui finished their meal and drank their wine, they did not stay in the hotel for long. They had already agreed to come back after a while. At the same time, he had asked Yang Yan to help him find ice and fire attributed holy fruits from the Gods realm. After Chen Xiang and Long Shui finished their meal and drank their wine, they did not stay in the hotel for long. They had already agreed to come back after a while. At the same time, he had asked Yang Yan to help him find ice and fire attributed holy fruits from the Gods realm. After Chen Xiang left, Yang Yan stood by the bedside, and looked at the Chen Xiang who had disappeared at the end of the street, and sighed softly. Yan, I know you like to make friends, not bad, but this Chen Xiang is too dangerous. Although he looks not bad, we still have to be vigilant, and we can't let L Devil Emperor know that you and he have dealings, otherwise it will be very troublesome. Suddenly, a middle-aged man dressed in simple clothing appeared behind Yang Yan. He was Yang Yan's father and master, Yang Kai-rui. Father, Chen Xiang is a good person. I think that he will definitely have some accomplishments in the future, and as long as you treat him sincerely, he will also treat you as a good friend. Yang Yan said, Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. If something happens, I will take responsibility myself. You're my son. If something were to happen to you, how could I bear to let you handle it? Yang Kai-rui patted Yang Yan's shoulders. I hope you're not mistaken. Yang Yan said, What happened at L Devil Emperor? What happened to those two Ods? Furthermore, the person who killed them was not the Azure Dragon. Otherwise, no matter how close the relations, Hi+P between the penalty Heavenly God and the Azure Dragon is, he wouldn't be able to take advantage of the situation and send the Azure Dragon into Hell, Su Yun said in a low voice. Hearing his father's words, Yang Yan was shocked and hurriedly said, So you're saying those two Ods were killed by Chen Xiang? How did he kill it? Impossible. Even if it is father, I am afraid that we cannot shake the body of the profound God, and even if it is possible, it would be very difficult to erase the soul. Yang Kai-rui nodded. That's why I'm worried that you and Chen Xiang are getting too close and are causing trouble. If it was really Chen Xiang who killed him, penalty Heavenly God will also turn a blind eye. As long as Chen Xiang did not take the initiative to look for penalty Heavenly God, penalty Heavenly God will not look for him. However, the Hell Divine Palace and the War God Shrine are currently pressuring the penalty Heavenly God. They hope that the penalty Heavenly God will punish Chen Xiang and send him to Hell. Yang Yan frowned. Doesn't this mean that it will be detrimental to Chen Xiang? If penalty Heavenly God is unable to withstand the pressure, then Chen Xiang will certainly be sent to Hell and will never be able to recover. Yang Kai-rui laughed. Don't worry, that penalty Heavenly God fellow will not easily agree. Moreover, the more you force him, the more he will do the opposite. Back then, the God of Fortune's ancestor had hardened his heart to send the Azure Dragon to Hell, but the penalty Heavenly God had always disagreed with him. You should tell him about this first, and let him be a bit mentally prepared. After Chen Xiang left the Wind Eye City, he immediately ran to the Fengshan Native Bank and went straight to Yu Fan's residence. Of course, Yu Fan knew about the two Gods that the Hell Devil Emperor had sent. At that time, he thought that Chen Xiang was definitely going to die, so he told Chen Xiang to kill him. No matter what the result was, it would be beneficial to him. Now that Yu Fan found out that the two Gods had died and saw Chen Xiang standing in front of him smiling, his heart skipped a beat. Master Yu, that Yang Yan is too powerful, I can't kill him, you better change your target. Chen Xiang had no intentions to break off all decorum with Yu Fan yet. Of course, Yu Fan didn't know that Chen Xiang had already become friends with him, nor did he know that Chen Xiang had already understood his character. Not bad, Yang Yan is really strong, it's good that you're fine. Seeing that Chen Xiang was still looking for him, Yu Fan was happy in his heart, because Chen Xiang was an outstanding divine deity hunter. Chen Xiang deliberately snorted coldly. Yang Yan is very strong, but I almost killed him. As long as I can cultivate a emperor soul, I can kill him. Seeing how serious Chen Xiang was speaking, Yu Fan started to believe him. Right now, he was just curious how those two gods didn't kill Chen Xiang and how they died. Emperor Soul? Yu Fan asked, what is this? The name of God's realm was not Emperor Soul, but rather Soul Essence. The Green Dragon had mentioned it to Chen Xiang before. Soul Essence, Chen Xiang said. You still don't have Soul Essence left? Yu Fan was shocked. He thought Chen Xiang's strength should be close to that of a demi-G. If I had it, I would have killed Yang Yan long ago. Chen Xiang sighed. If only I had another divine deity, I would be able to kill Yang Yan. Yu Fan's heart suddenly thumped. He knew that El Devil Emperor had paid a huge price and sent two gods to kill Chen Xiang, but Chen Xiang was still alive, while the two gods were dead. El Devil Emperor would not deal with Chen Xiang in the near future, because El Devil Emperor's vitality was greatly injured, and he would need a period of time to recover. He was definitely hoping that Chen Xiang would be a bit stronger than him, so that he could continue to rely on Chen Xiang to hunt divine deity. Now that he knew that Chen Xiang did not have soul essence, he could kill powerful people like Sun Yu and Peng Reni. If Chen Xiang were to condense soul essence, then he would not need to think so deeply about the targets that Chen Xiang would choose, and Chen Xiang could also help him hunt for divine deity even faster. Yu Fan had suspected Chen Xiang before, and he had even planned to borrow Chen Xiang's hand to kill him, but now that he saw that Chen Xiang had still come back to him in a daze, he made him think that he had completely fooled Chen Xiang. Lord Yu, this is the divine money you gave me last time. I didn't use it much, so I might as well return it to you. Chen Xiang returned the hundreds of gold coins that Yu Fan had given him. Yu Fan received the divine money, and after careful consideration, he sent a sound transmission to Chen Xiang. I'll give you Peng Reni's divine deity, and help you cultivate and produce soul essence. But in the future, you have to help me hunt even more divine deity. Of course, when the time comes, you can also get some yourself. Is this appropriate? That divine deity is worth 20 million divine coins. Chen Xiang asked. Of course it's appropriate, I'm helping you increase your strength, and you have to help me hunt more divine deity. This is a fair deal. However, after you have cultivated your soul essence, you must not look for Yang Yan again. His father is very powerful, and if you fail to kill him the first time, there will be no second chance. Yu Fan was worried that if Chen Xiang went back again, he would lure the penalty Heavenly God out, and Chen Xiang would be dead for sure. Okay, as long as I can cultivate it, I will definitely help you hunt divine deity multiple times. Chen Xiang said with a sincere face. Yu Fan took out a piece of divine deity and said it to Chen Xiang. Once you have cultivated the soul essence, come and find me immediately. Chen Xiang received the divine deity, nodded his head, and then quickly left. He was overjoyed in his heart. He did not expect that it would be so easy to swindle Peng Reni's divine deity from his hands. This Bastard is too worried. After knowing that I had the strength to almost kill Yang Yan, in order for me to quickly hunt down more divine deity, I actually trip. Chen Xiang was overjoyed in his heart. Some people who were scammed would only fall for it because they were too greedy. Yu Fan thought that Chen Xiang had no one to rely on in the divine prison, and only he was able to receive Chen Xiang. He also thought that he had treated Chen Xiang very well, giving him so much God's money was enough to bribe his heart, so he trusted Chen Xiang very much. Chen Xiang originally only wanted to give it a try. He was even a little worried that Yu Fan would see through him, and was already prepared to escape. Who knew that after a few casual words, Yu Fan would obediently take out Peng Reni's divine deity. Chen Xiang originally only wanted to give it a try. He was even a little worried that Yu Fan would see through him, and was already prepared to escape. Who knew that after a few casual words, Yu Fan would obediently take out Peng Reni's divine deity. Obtaining this divine deity, Chen Xiang returned to Bane II with an extremely joyful mood. Right now he already had 4 divine deity, 2 of them were average, and the other 2 were profound God-level divine deity. Furthermore, he had not refined the divine deity which had engulfed the H.E.L. prince back then, so he would refine the divine deity when he had cultivated them. This way, his emperor's soul would become even stronger. Seeing that Chen Xiang was in a good mood, the green dragon laughed and asked, "What are you so happy about? Could it be that you have hunted for divine deity outside?" Chen Xiang laughed. "Yes, I obtained the divine deity, but it was handed over by someone else with both hands." Then, he told Yu Fan about coaxing, causing the green dragon to laugh out loud. "What's next? Will you still look for him?" "Of course I'll go, and I'll even go together with Yang Yan to play with him." Seeing that Yu Fan trusted him so much, Chen Xiang must make full use of this point. Had played with him before too. Right, the War God Shrine and the H.E.L. Divine Palace are pressuring penalty Heavenly God right now. They want him to send me to H.E.L.L. The green dragon stroked his beard and smiled. "Don't worry, the more it is like this, the more penalty Heavenly God will not agree. According to the rules set by the penalty Heavenly God, when people intrude this place to kill people, he would normally not care much about it, not to mention that those 2 War Gods took the initiative to look for you. That way I can feel at ease." Had said the same thing before, but now that the Azure Dragon had said the same thing, Chen Xiang felt even more at ease. "I'm going to cultivate. I'll produce the Emperor's soul earlier." Chen Xiang ran towards a cave that the green dragon had created for Chen Xiang. They had already moved to a place with mountains and rivers, a place that had already been destroyed because of the great battle. Chen Xiang entered a quiet stone room and started to circulate the heavenly alchemy's spirit refinement method, training his soul. The so-called Emperor's Soul ability was actually a type of sacred art, but it was a very special ability, and most of them were unique. For example, Long Xue's sleeping ability could also be considered a sacred art, and this sacred art was very powerful and mystical. Previously, when he was chatting with Yang Yan had said that it was usually called an innate ability in the Gods realm. Chen Xiang was a little worried that her life ability was not suitable for him. Emperor Soul was the word for 9 heaven world, and in Gods realm, it was called Soul Essence. The innate ability was born from this internal energy. As long as one cultivated a soul lattice from the internal energy, the soul lattice and divine deity would merge together and one could become a true God. The process was very complicated and difficult. The heavenly alchemy's spirit refinement scripture was similar to this. It was just that Chen Xiang had not reached that stage yet. If he did not have a good cultivation method, it would not be easy for him to cultivate Emperor Soul. Both the 9-turn Dragon God mantra and the heavenly alchemy were good cultivation methods, but Chen Xiang mainly trained in the heavenly alchemy and the 9-turn Dragon God mantra, so he did not cultivate the 9-turn Dragon God mantra anymore. Although he was changing the cultivation method later on, Chen Xiang was still able to adapt to it. Because the heavenly alchemy was originally very profound, it did not affect him. Chun Xiang still had unrefined souls inside his divine deity, and these souls were all devoured by him and were all extremely powerful. As long as he refined these souls, he would be able to absorb a large amount of pure divine power from them and help him cultivate his internal energy. When Chun Xiang closed his eyes to cultivate, half a year had passed, said unknowingly. His divine sense-see world had undergone a tremendous change. There was previously only a small island, but now there were only a few. All of the souls that he had devoured had been completely refined by him. At this moment, he could feel that there was something condensing within his own soul essence. Is it a ball of fire? Could it be that my innate divine ability is related to flames? Chun Xiang was overjoyed, because this matched a few of his guesses. If this innate ability was related to flames, then it meant that his flames would become very strong. He was very satisfied with this innate ability. The internal energy of the soul slowly formed into a burning red sphere, located in the dantian of the soul. Has my soul become an emperor soul? That soul essence? What is my innate divine ability? Although Chun Xiang felt that his own soul had become much stronger in other aspects, there didn't seem to be much of a change, so he had already opened his GLA. SSES. Long Shui anxiously said, I've been waiting for you. Did you manage to cultivate an emperor soul for a long time? How long have you been waiting? Chun Xiang felt as if he had fallen asleep. It's been a year. Long Shui said, hurry and answer my question. I'm not too sure either. I feel like I have cultivated an emperor soul, and I'm not too sure about my innate ability. How do I know? Chun Xiang asked. First, try and see how strong your divine power is. If your power is many times stronger than before, that will mean that you have already developed a soul. Long Shui said. Chun Xiang sat cross-legged inside the cave, looked at the ceiling, then channeled his G-O-D power and punched upwards. When he used the G-O-D power, he already felt that vast amount of G-O-D power unceasingly appearing in his body and H-I plussing out from his arms. Boom! With only a dull quaking sound, the mountain he was on disappeared, leaving behind only an extremely terrifying heat wave. The azure dragon in the distance hastily rushed over with a surprised face. He clicked his tongue and said, such powerful G-O-D strength. He melted this mountain in one go. Just now, Chun Xiang had only tested the power within the soul essence, and he found that it had such an effect. What surprised him the most was that he could feel the remnant energy in the air. It was the energy contained within the mountain that he had broken down with his previous punch. He released his G-O-D power to gather the energy that he felt. In just an instant, that large amount of energy gathered together and turned into a small glowing particle, which had already condensed into a very small pellet. As expected, it has a lot to do with my cultivation technique. Chun Xiang looked at the floating grain, and his heart was in ecstasy. So that means if I use my innate divine ability, I might be able to concoct a holy pellet very quickly. The green dragon frowned. He is your innate ability? Is different from the Dan Emperor? Chun Xiang asked anxiously. I heard that Dan Emperor can condense pills out of thin air. What is the situation like? Dan Emperor condensing a core out of nowhere is only limited to places where the energy is relatively abundant, where it can instantly condense the energy into a pill. However, you seem to be able to quickly dissolve all kinds of naturally formed things, and then quickly condense the energy into pills. Chun Xiang asked, Senior, then what is your innate ability? The azure dragon laughed and said, your innate ability still needs to be excavated, otherwise you would not be able to know its true function. You should try again. The innate ability has all kinds of strange abilities. Your innate ability might not only be this way. The azure dragon avoided Chun Xiang's question. As Long Shui had said before, the azure dragon had always been concealing its innate ability. Long Shui had always been curious, and now Chen Xiang was the same. However, if the Azure Dragon did not say, they could not do anything. You have cultivated a Emperor soul, it is about time for you to leave. The Azure Dragon asked. Amen, but I still want to stay here for a while. I will first go find Yang Yen and see if he has anything that he wants from the G.O.D.S. realm. Chen Xiang had previously planned to possess a Emperor soul and leave this place after the divine vessel was completed. Then the Suzaku bow should have been successfully refined. See what happens when the four symbols divine weapons gets together. The Azure Dragon said with a smile, "This is a mystery that has been bothering me for many years." Long Shui scoffed, "Your innate ability has also curious me for many years. Little girl, can you not talk about this?" The Azure Dragon was very afraid that others would ask him about his innate divine ability. "I also haven't asked you about your innate divine ability, have I? But you have already guessed what my innate ability is." Long Shui muttered, "So this is very unfair. Now that we are prepared to solve the mystery of the four symbols divine weapons and satisfy your curiosity, why can't you satisfy our curiosity a little?" The Azure Dragon sighed. "Actually, my innate ability is nothing, it's just a bit special. He must be very powerful." Long Shui had already come out of the quiet dragon ring, and was holding a large fiery red bow with carvings of the vermilion bird on it. The bow was giving off waves of red light, it was the Suzaku bow. The green dragon shook his head. "My innate ability is very weak. This is also the reason why I don't want others to know about it." After the green dragon spoke, rain suddenly began to fall from the sky. He bitterly smiled and said, "Look, this is my innate ability. It's just rain. It's not bad at all." Long Shui's mouth was agape, she was stunned, her expression filled with disbelief, she suddenly wanted to laugh, but she still had a bit of conscience, and kept it in. "Actually, old cyan bug, you don't have to be discouraged. You should cultivate the second divine deity and the second divine soul, that way you'll have the second innate ability. Or, you should dig deeper into your innate ability." Long Shui consoled. The green dragon replied, "Little girl, you must want to laugh. However, since you were able to console me, I'm quite happy. It's rare for you to have such a kind heart. Not only did you not laugh at me, you even comforted me. Actually, I have also been excavating the power of my martial spirit's ability. In addition to rain, I have another ability, and that is to merge the spirit liquid into the rain. This way, the plants that I've watered will grow very well." Qin Xiang said, "So you're saying this ability is not suitable for you? What is the reason for this?" The green dragon shook his head and said, "I'm not too sure either. In short, I'm a tragedy. As for cultivating the second divine deity, second divine soul and second life ability, that is simply too far away. Because it's too difficult, I have tried it before." His innate divine ability could not be changed or given up. If it was inappropriate, he could only appoint someone else to it. Chen Xiang's innate ability could only display a small portion of his abilities right now. He still had to excavate it to know if he had any other abilities. Chen Xiang's innate ability could only display a small portion of his abilities right now. He still had to excavate it to know if he had any other abilities. Besides being able to quickly refine things, do you have any other abilities? You can release the energy within your soul energy right now to take a look. The green dragon said. Chen Xiang channeled the energy of the soul inside his soul, absorbing a bit of the red mist from the fiery red bead, fusing it with the divine power, and then releasing it from his palm. It was a ball of flame. This flame was strange, because Chen Xiang did not summon the power of the fire soul within his body to actually be able to release flames as well. What a strange flame! It's not scalding, and it even contains life force. Could it be that this is that type of flame? Then, he took out a seed and threw it into the flames on Chen Xiang's palm. Do you need to expend your divine power to release the flames? The azure dragon carefully observed the seed that was being burned by the strange flame in Qin Xiang's palm. I need it, but I don't need it much. If I use more divine power, the flame will become a gush of gas, and I can refine some things in an instant, just like before. Just as Qin Xiang finished speaking, he saw the seed in the center of his palm crack. Under the burning of the flames, it actually sprouted. It really is this kind of flame, the green dragon said in surprise. This is a Chuangzhao fire. What kind of flame is this? Is there any difference between that and fire of chaos? Qin Xiang was also very surprised in his heart. Not only did the fire not burn the seed down, it had also let the seed sprout. There is a saying that the Chuangzhao fire is a fire of chaos. Back then, even if all sorts of things were burned out, I still do not know the specifics. When you use Chuangzhao fire, you can let the seed germinate when the temperature is very low. If the temperature is too high, you can refine the seed into energy. It should be like that. The azure dragon nodded his head. This innate ability of yours is also very powerful. It will be of great help to you in refining pills. As for the innate divine ability, if it can be kept a secret, it would be best to not let anyone else know about it. Long Shui said. Quickly use it to try and see if it's really helpful. Qin Xiang immediately took out his pill furnace. I will refine a 9th-level immortal stage Tianshan Dan right now. Qin Xiang took out the Tianhun fruit that looked like bubbles and placed it inside the furnace. Previously, when he was refining the Tianhun fruit, he needed to use a very strong divine power and flames to refine it. Refining one furnace used up all of his divine power, but now that he had cultivated the Emperor's soul and obtained his innate ability to create flames, he felt that he would definitely refine it even faster. Once, Qing Long looked at Qin Xiang concocting pills. He concentrated and released his divine power to sense the changes in the furnace. Qin Xiang activated the special power inside his soul essence, using his innate ability to release that kind of Chuangzhao fire, and it was the strong type. Of course, he wouldn't be so naive to think that this kind of flame could directly refine Tianhun fruit S. After all, Tianhun fruit S weren't normal flowers and plants, so he combined it with the heavenly alchemy's limitless God purification and used this technique to refine it. If it was before, Qin Xiang would release a Taiji array at the bottom of the pill furnace to restrict the strength of the Tianhun fruit. Now that he was using the Chuangzhao fire to burn it, coupled with the heavenly alchemy, even if the Tianhun fruit released its defensive power, the effect of the energy wasn't too great, and was being slowly decomposed and refined by Qin Xiang's creative power. When Qin Xiang saw that his innate ability was extremely useful in refining pills, he was ecstatic. Although he could only refine Tianhun fruit a little, but this was because the Chuangzhao fire he used was not strong enough. He immediately increased the intensity of the fire and continued to burn the Tianhun fruit. Right now, the Tianhun fruit only needed to release some of their defensive power. It would just be refined and decomposed by the Chuangzhao fire, and the pure medicine aura would rush up to the upper level of the pill furnace. The refining speed was not very fast, but the process was very easy, and was not as tiring as the previous method, but now he still needed a bit of skill. He realized that the Tianhun fruit would consciously give up on resisting, and if his fire power was too strong, he would exterminate a large number of medicine aura, so he had to be very careful. The resistance strength of Tianhun fruit S would sometimes weaken, sometimes increase, or sometimes not even resist. After a period of time they would resist again. Because it was his first time using his innate ability to refine pellets, Qin Xiang was extra careful and used quite a bit of time. However, just like before, he only needed more than 2 hours to refine a batch of Tianshan Dan S. Previously, when he forged a cauldron of pills, his spirit energy was depleted. However, at this moment, he felt as though he hadn't expended much spirit energy at all. With his current strength, using the same old method would also consume a lot of energy. From this, it could be seen that his innate ability allowed him to concoct pills faster. 10 Tianshan Dan in one pot. The Azure Dragon exclaimed, truly powerful. If you could refine a sacred pill at such a speed and in such quant. 1. Tai, what would happen? Chen Xiang chuckled. I will be able to concoct a holy pellet soon. I can take a look when the time comes, but the quant. 1. Tai of holy pellets that come out won't be that great. Previously, he was unable to refine a holy pellet because he did not cultivate an emperor soul and did not have enough divine power to support his flames. But now that he had cultivated an emperor's soul and there was an extremely abnormal Chuangzhou fire, his confidence increased exponentially. You have quite a few holy-level medicinal ingredients on your hands. You can refine holy elixirs in one of them. Although it is the lowest-grade holy elixir, its effects are much better than eating the medicinal ingredients directly. Long Shui said, what pill do you plan to refine first? I plan to first use blood ginseng to refine pills and refine them into dragon blood Saint Dan. This kind of pill can strengthen the body and has a lot of uses. It is also very marketable. Chen Xiang laughed. At that time, we can also give it to elder sister Menger and the others to eat. The Green Dragon asked, can I watch you refine pills? I want to witness the birth of a pill saint. Chen Xiang laughed. Of course not. Just like this, Chen Xiang did not enter the secret room of the cave, and planned to concoct pills outside. What about the Suzaku Bao? Isn't it to test what will happen when 4 symbols divine weapons is together? Long Shui was still holding onto the Suzaku Bao. The Green Dragon looked at the blood ginseng in Chen Xiang's hands and pondered for a moment. Then, he smiled and said, let's take a look at this kid refining the holy pellet first. I see that he is even more anxious to refine the holy pellet. Long Shui said, I don't care, but it will take me a long time to concoct the holy pellet. Chen Xiang took a deep breath, adjusted himself, and checked if the blood ginseng was in good condition or not, and if it had any flaws. In order to strengthen his body, Chen Xiang had previously eaten a large amount of blood ginseng. He understood blood ginseng very well, and this was one of the reasons why he chose to refine blood ginseng first. In order to strengthen his body, Chen Xiang had previously eaten a large amount of blood ginseng. He understood blood ginseng very well, and this was one of the reasons why he chose to refine blood ginseng first. The strength of the blood ginseng is very strong, very arrogant and very explosive. Let me see. If I don't use my innate divine ability, will I be able to suppress it? Although Chen Xiang's ability was useful in refining pills, he did not plan to use it first when he was refining new pills, because it would cause him to rely more on his ability, and thus reduce the proactive nature of his heavenly alchemy. He felt that if he could master the heavenly alchemy better, with his innate ability, he would be able to have a smoother time when refining pills. He would not forget his basic skills, he had to master it firmly, and only then would he be able to become stronger. Due to Chen Xiang's understanding of the effects of blood ginseng, he used the Tai Chi God purification from the very beginning. He first released a Taiji array under the pill furnace to restrict the berserk power released by the blood ginseng. When the blood ginseng encountered the burning rainbow sacred flame, it immediately released a dense red blood qi, causing the pill furnace to tremble for a moment. The blood qi suddenly exploded like a storm, wanting to destroy the multicolored sacred flame. Although the Green Dragon did not personally see it, he could sense the situation inside the pill furnace. He wanted to see how Chen Xiang was going to solve this problem. Freeze! Chen Xiang used more God power on the Taiji array, causing it to spin, creating a suction force that sucked the berserk blood qi back, wrapping around the blood ginseng. The Taiji array was spinning very quickly, and every second, it would spin around dozens of rounds, producing a very strong suction force. At this moment, even if the blood ginseng was constantly releasing blood qi, the blood qi was still absorbed by the taiji array the moment it came out, spinning around it. Then, it was slowly refined by the 7-colored sacred flame Qin Xiang released. Blood ginseng S were even more difficult to deal with than Tianhun fruit S. The inside of Tianhun fruit S only possessed a unique divine power, and blood ginseng S did not only have a unique divine power, the blood energy inside also carried the same kind of power as when they were released. He's here. Qin Xiang suddenly felt that the blood ginseng had shrunk a little, and then suddenly swelled up, and actually knew how to circulate energy. Qin Xiang anxiously increased the strength of the taiji array, while the blood ginseng also suddenly spat out an even denser blood mist. It was as if a large amount of blood suddenly exploded inside the furnace. Fortunately, Qin Xiang had prepared in advance to strengthen the taiji array, absorbing all the blood energy that came out to prevent it from erupting. Otherwise, even the Yanlong furnace would have been injured. After Qin Xiang had refined it for 4 hours, the blood ginseng had already become the size of a thumb. All of the blood qi inside the blood ginseng had been refined by Qin Xiang, and the blood ginseng would erupt 13 times in all. Very quickly, the last bit of blood ginseng no longer had any fighting strength, and was very easily refined by Qin Xiang using the rainbow sacred flame. A single blood ginseng had already been completely refined. Seeing Qin Xiang reach this stage so quickly, the green dragon was extremely shocked in his heart. This was because Qin Xiang had just started refining holy pellets and had reached this stage so quickly. Although he did not know many pill saints, he knew a few of them. When he talked to the pill saints about how difficult it was to refine holy pellets just now, he even said that it was difficult to make a breakthrough, and only after many failures could he succeed. However, right now, he had personally witnessed Qin Xiang refining this blood ginseng with his own eyes, and it could be said that everything went smoothly. However, he was very clear that Qin Xiang's own skill was indeed very high, and his pill refining skills were also different from other pill saints. Right now, Qin Xiang had not succeeded in condensing a core yet, but the green dragon already knew that Qin Xiang was not far from success. For many alchemists, every stage was extremely difficult, but for Qin Xiang, refining a ring in the middle was the most difficult. The azure dragon could also tell, especially that Qin Xiang's ingenious method of handling the blood ginseng's violent spouting of power more than a dozen times would definitely be able to solve the problem of the final condensing of the core. Old cyan bug, are you scared? I'm already used to it. You haven't seen the most shocking thing about this little scoundrel when he was refining pills. Long Shui laughed. What scene? Although the azure dragon did not see the interior of the pill furnace, he was already very shocked. When he was controlling dozens or hundreds of pill furnaces at the same time, or when he used heavenly alchemy to refine all of the giant mountains within 5,000 kilometers into pills. And he refines people too. Long Shui thought that Qin Xiang was extremely terrifying. He had all sorts of training method. The azure dragon replied, "That powerful? When there's a chance, we must definitely broaden our horizons." Back then, although Chi Hi plus this guy cultivated the heavenly alchemy, he did not use it for official business, and it was truly a waste of a heaven's gift. The other reason why Qin Xiang's refining skills were so terrifying was because he had cultivated the heavenly alchemy and at the same time used the philosophic stone to comprehend the profound arts inside, and learned many different refining methods from them. Even back then, even Chi Hi plus was unable to comprehend much from it. This was also the reason why the Hel Devil Emperor was willing to sacrifice everything to capture Qin Xiang. But even if he had to sacrifice everything, Qin Xiang would still be able to live a good life. Old cyan bug, let's guess, how many dragon blood Saint Dan can this kid condense? Long Shui laughed. Well, under normal circuit Stances, a cauldron of divine pellets would normally be used, but when this little demon refined Tianshan Dan, he used a cauldron of 10, so I cannot use common sense to judge. The Azure Dragon thought for a moment. I think that if he were to refine this holy elixir, he should be able to condense 2 pellets. The Azure Dragon had been in God's realm for such a long time, he had heard of the powerful sacred pills there. It could be used to refine high-level sacred pills, but only a few alchemists could refine low-level sacred pills. Long Shui laughed. I think it's 3 pills. The Green Dragon frowned. How is that possible? I have seen Dragon Blood Saint Dan before. To be able to refine a high-quality blood ginseng into 2 high-quality Dragon Blood Saint Dan, that should be the limit. Furthermore, the pill saints that I have seen did not lose many medicine aura when they were refining the pills. You don't understand. If we didn't lose much, we would have lost more. Long Shui laughed and said, but Chen Xiang can make full use of it, and when he uses fire, he also has some mysterious method to surpass his limits. In your eyes, forming 2 holy pellets is the limit, but with Chen Xiang, the limit might be 3 or 5 or even 6. Long Shui said. The refining techniques he comprehended from the heavenly alchemy were different from others. The Green Dragon shook his head. Even if it's the limit, there is still a limit. Blood ginsengs are only so little. To be able to refine blood ginseng into a pellet is already not bad. After a blood ginseng refines a pellet, its effect is about 10 times that of the original. If 2 pellets is 20 times, I can accept that. But the 3 pills, that has already far surpassed said the value of the blood ginseng itself. It doesn't make sense at all. Betting or not? Long Shui laughed. Nope. The Green Dragon rejected it immediately, although he felt that giving 3 pills was extremely unreasonable, but he had no confidence now, because the one refining the pills was Chen Xiang. Chen Xiang opened his eyes and smiled. Fortunately, Senior did not gamble, otherwise you would definitely have lost. The Green Dragon and Long Shui were arguing just now, so he did not pay attention to the situation inside the pill furnace. But now, he hurriedly used his divine power to sense around, only to discover that there were 3 cyclones inside the pill furnace. This caused the Green Dragon to immediately take a deep breath. From his heaven-defying pill-refining skills, he could see Chen Xiang's future prospects, and might very well surpass him. Long Shui patted the Azure Dragon's shoulder, and laughed complacently. Now you know how powerful my man is. So don't worry, we can get you guys out of here soon. You just have to wait patiently. The Azure Dragon admitted that as long as Chen Xiang could go to the God's realm, and not be suppressed by powerful forces and rely on the alive slain method to copy the medicinal ingredients and sell the holy elixir, he would be able to earn a lot of money very quickly. When you were refining pills, did you use the alive slain method? The Azure Dragon asked. He felt that this was the only possibility. It's been used. Alive slain method already has a strange ability. It can copy some things that contain spirit energy. When I am refining, I will use the profound methods in the alive slain method to copy a few medicine aura that are lacking, but this has a very high requirement on my divine power. I need to grasp them very accurately, otherwise it will be very easy to failure. Chen Xiang nodded his head and said, This is only what I have figured out just now. The alive slain method is also as profound as the heavenly alchemy. Sure enough, the Azure Dragon finally solved a mystery. It seems that even if I have the time, I still have to study those profound techniques. Otherwise, I will definitely be able to shake off a youngster like you. Chen Xiang had already completed condensing the pill and opened the pill furnace. A red light shone and a faint fishy smell floated in the air. It was not the comfortable medicinal smell like before, but a normal phenomenon of Dragon Blood Saint Dan. The quality is quite good. The Azure Dragon knew with a sniff. Chen Xiang took out 3 bright red pills from the furnace. His usually calm self couldn't help but become excited, his hands trembling, because he had refined the holy pellet. To cultivate the Emperor's soul and refine the sacred pills, this was his previous goal. Now that he had achieved everything, he felt that he could go back. Senior, do you want to try it? Chen Xiang laughed. No need, let's just give it to those few girls, it's more useful to them. They have the dragon blood Saint Dan that you refined, so when they cultivate the body, they don't have to work as hard as you. Their bodies could grow stronger and endure stronger flames. At that time, the flames would also be able to rise as well. For a refiner, it's really impossible for the flame to be insufficient, the Green Dragon said. Lu Menger and the other girls were very talented in smithing. Although their strength was not very strong, they were already close to the level of divine craftsmen in the past. Chen Xiang nodded. Thank you, Senior, for showing concern for them. The Azure Dragon laughed out loud. We can now start to get involved with the Four Symbols divine weapons and see what secrets are hidden inside. Let's see if it's like what little girl Dongfang guessed, that this Four Symbols divine weapons has even stronger divine weapons. Long Shui threw the Suzaku bow to Chen Xiang. After Chen Xiang received it, before he could drip his blood to recognize it as its master, the Suzaku bow had already started trembling, releasing waves of intense flames. Long Shui threw the Suzaku bow to Chen Xiang. After Chen Xiang received it, before he could drip his blood to recognize it as its master, the Suzaku bow had already started trembling, releasing waves of intense flames. There's a reaction. Chen Xiang immediately dripped blood into the Suzaku bow, then activated the Vermilion Bird Divine Arts, and fused with it. Feeling that he had fused with the Suzaku bow, Chen Xiang suddenly felt the other three divine weapons inside his body appear. The Slaughter God's hand appeared in his hands, the Green Dragon Demon-Slain broadsword appeared in his right hand, and the dazzling Profoundwood diamond armor wrapped around his body. His left hand held a bow and his right hand held a saber. Both divine weapons were emitting an intense glow that pierced the eyes. Chen Xiang fused with the connection between the Four Symbols divine weapons causing the Four Symbols divine weapons to become even brighter. The multicolored light emitted by the Four Symbols divine weapons did not last long, and gradually dimmed down as Chen Xiang continued to let the Four Symbols divine weapons merge with him. After the strong light disappeared, the Green Dragon Demon-Slain broadsword in Chen Xiang's hand changed. It was no longer as big as before, it had shrunk down a lot, and its shape also changed a lot. On the original cyan-colored blade, a faint golden light appeared in the middle, with a golden dragon engraved on it. There was a pale silver halo around the handle of the saber, with a white dragon coiling around it. The Profoundwood diamond armor was originally glowing gold, but now it had turned deep red and mixed with some black, making it look even more low-key. It was not that stiff, just like a set of clothes that were slightly harder to wear. The originally white hands of the killer had now turned into black gloves, revealing the fingers. The Suzaku bow, on the other hand, was no longer flickering with red light like it was before. What's going on? How come the Four Symbols divine weapons looks like a whole new level? The Green Dragon said. It doesn't look as good as it did before, but in this way it looks very ordinary and not bad at all. Long Shui circled around Chen Xiang. Looking at the set of Profoundwood diamond armor on his body, it didn't look like armor at all. Instead, it looked like an old set of clothes. Chen Xiang said, What you all have seen were only illusions, and this is the most ancient set of Four Symbols divine weapons. Back then, when I came to this set of Four Symbols divine weapons, I did not consider its appearance so it was not eye-catching, but it was very strong, I can feel it now. The Azure Dragon said in shock. I didn't expect those girls to have guessed correctly, and also have an ancient Four Symbols divine weapons. In that case, this incomplete Four Symbols divine weapons of yours has hidden clues about the ancient divine weapon? Chen Xiang nodded. They are all in the ODS realm, I know where they are, and I'm in different places. Moreover, I feel like there's something hidden inside that set of ancient four symbols divine weapons s. Long Shui laughed and said, Old cyan bug, in the ancient DS realm, there might also be an azure dragon, maybe it has something to do with you. Hard to say. My azure dragon is unique. If there had been an azure dragon back then I would have had a previous life. Then what about my previous life's memories? The green dragon frowned and said, Chen Xiang, if you can you help me go to the Nine Heaven Devil Palace to find some clues? I feel that there are a lot of secrets hidden there. Chen Xiang nodded. No problem, before I enter the ODS realm, I will definitely go there and investigate. I believe that I have the strength to come out. I want to know too. Do I also have a past life? Back then, we were the same batch of Saint Beasts. Long Shui said, There's also the big white cat, vermilion bird, black tortoise and the other ancient holy beasts. Chen Xiang had broken the connection between the four symbols divine weapons and the four symbols divine weapons, so the four symbols divine weapons in his body returned to its original state. At this time, Lu Menger's voice sounded out, Senior Azure Dragon, if you truly had a previous life, perhaps you would be able to awaken the memories of your previous life. Long Shui said, That's right. When I have time, I want to see whether or not the sealed memories of my previous life are hidden deep within my soul. The Azure Dragon nodded. I will definitely try it out in the future. Chen Xiang gave the 3 pellets he refined to Lu Menger and Xue Xianxian. The 2 of them did not have any bloodline inheritance, so their bodies were relatively weak. I'm about to leave too, but I still have something to do before I leave. He wanted to find Yu Fan. Although he had obtained Peng Rinni's divine deity from Yu Fan, if Yu Fan wanted to kill him, he would not let this matter rest. As for Yang Yan, he had asked Yang Yan to buy the necessary holy-level medicinal herbs from the GODS realm, so he wanted to see if Yang Yan had managed to get any. Chen Xiang quickly arrived at the hotel that belonged to Yang Yan in the Wind Eye City. Yang Yan was still as cyanate as before, but when he saw Chen Xiang's arrival, he quickly greeted him warmly. It seems like you've become a little stronger. Although Yang Yan could not sense the change in Chen Xiang's strength from the aura, he could still make out some of it from the pair of eyes that had a confident light in them. The reason why I've been in seclusion for so long is for the sake of breaking through. Chen Xiang laughed. Big brother Yang, have you gone to GODS realm yet? Yang Yan poured a cup of wine for Chen Xiang and said, I've been there once, I've brought the thing that you wanted. Yang Yan took out 3 jade boxes, and introduced the contents of the boxes as he opened them. This is the sacred flame fruit, an inferior grade holy elixir. This is the holy ice flower, and also an inferior grade holy elixir. The last one is a Saint Origin Qi Ginseng. It's mainly used to strengthen the soul. Not to mention those rare items, they are all low-grade holy medicines. As for medium-grade and high-grade holy medicines, they are also available. They are fairly expensive and will take a period of time to obtain. I have traveled to and from the GODS realm, and have a time limit, so I can only obtain low-grade holy medicines. Yang Yan's face looked a little ashamed, because he felt that he could only get things of this level, and he really let Chen Xiang down. However, for Chen Xiang, the low-rank holy elixir was already very good. All of these could be refined into a holy pellet, and they were also extremely useful for people like Lu Menger and the others who cultivated both fire and ice. It's fine, it's very good for me. How much is that? Chen Xiang asked. This is my gift to you, please don't raise the spirit money with me. Yang Yan anxiously made a gesture to stop Chen Xiang from continuing to raise his spirit money. Chen Xiang laughed and hastily toasted to Yang Yan. When I went back to the GODS realm, I asked around too. The penalty heavenly GOD is powerful indeed. She was able to withstand the pressure from the Hel Divine Palace and the War God Shrine and not punish you. This is good news but also bad news. As Yang Yen spoke of the bad news, the smile on his face suddenly disappeared. This made Chen Xiang a little nervous and hurried him. What bad news? Is it against me? Yang Yen nodded his head. It is indeed disadvantageous for you, but at the moment it is not a threat to you at all. If it continues, it will be hard to say, because you do not know how long you will have to stay here before you can leave. What do you mean? With the help of the Azure Dragon, Chen Xiang could leave any time he wanted. El Devil Emperor is preparing to send down a new batch of War Gods and Profound God. He used a lot of divine money before, and now he doesn't have much either, but he has promised that as long as you send your divine soul to Hel, he will have a way to get the heavenly alchemy from you. After that, he will share the heavenly alchemy with the Gods who cooperate with him. In the Gods realm, the heavenly alchemy is something that many heavenly Gods would want to obtain, especially those divine halls that have a large amount of holy-level medicinal herbs. If they have the heavenly alchemy, it would be able to raise the level of their alchemists. Yang Yen drank a cup of wine and continued, the other Gods are also considering this, even the Wealth Divine Palace's God of Fortune has such considerations if the God of Fortune joins in. Yang Yen did not say anything further. He knew that Chen Xiang would understand what the consequences would be. The God of Fortune is your martial ancestor. You revealed this secret to me. Aren't you afraid that he will blame you? Chen Xiang laughed, without a trace of nervousness, making Yang Yen secretly admire him in his heart. But I've never seen him before, so I still have some feelings for him. Furthermore, my brand was made by the God of Light. It has nothing to do with the God of Fortune. Yang Yen said. Chen Xiang suddenly had a feeling that the relations Hi+P between the brilliant God and the God of Fortune might not be very good, even though they were master and disciple. Chen Xiang, your current situation is very dangerous. If the God of Fortune is also involved, with his financial resources, he can make over 100 profound God come here. When the time comes, the Azure Dragon will definitely not be able to resist, and you will also be in danger. Yang Yen was extremely worried for Chen Xiang. Did you know I'm going to penalty Heavenly God to ask about the price you paid to leave this place? How much? Logically speaking, I shouldn't have left. Chen Xiang replied, I killed 2 fellows, so I should be sent to Hel. If you were a prisoner here, then you would have long since gone to Hel. However, you only entered here by accident, and the people you killed were all at a much higher cultivation level than you, so the Heaven's Punishment Palace made it a crime for you to protect yourself. However, this is only because you killed 2 ward Gods. If you want to leave, you have to pay 200 million spirit stones. Previously, Yang Yen thought that the 2 War Gods were killed by the Azure Dragon, but he didn't expect that it was actually Chen Xiang. However, he also guessed that it was definitely the Azure Dragon that had captured the 2 Ares and then handed them to Chen Xiang to kill. He was extremely curious about how Chen Xiang had actually killed that powerful War God. At least, he couldn't do it, even if War God didn't have any fighting strength. Chen Xiang smiled mysteriously. You don't have to worry, I have other ways of getting out. Upon hearing his words, Yang Yen immediately laughed. So that's how it is. You caused me to worry so much that I had to die. Chen Xiang smiled and punished himself for 3 cups of wine before saying, I plan to kill you Fan before I leave. This guy almost caused my death. I can't let him be so carefree. Oh right, I got a set of divine deity from him. Chen Xiang laughed out loud as he heard Chen Xiang's story of him lying to Yu Fan. After Yang Yen finished laughing, he said, "It's not easy for you to get rid of him. He's protected by the penalty Heavenly God, and the moment he encounters any danger, the penalty Heavenly God will immediately appear. As long as the penalty Heavenly God appears, you'll also be in a lot of trouble." It was extremely difficult to kill Yu Fan, not because his strength was lacking, but because of the penalty Heavenly God. Furthermore, a large portion of Yu Fan's strength was sealed, making killing was much easier. It was extremely difficult to kill Yu Fan, not because his strength was lacking, but because of the penalty Heavenly God. Furthermore, a large portion of Yu Fan's strength was sealed, making killing was much easier. Chen Xiang said, "Let me think again, I will definitely think of a good way. Next, I will feign to help him hunt divine deity. If I am unable to think of a way in a short period of time, I will leave this place." Yang Yen nodded. "Then it's best if you don't come see me too often. It's not good for Yu Fan to discover me, and if you leave at that time, there's no need to say your goodbyes anymore. I believe we can reunite in God's realm. Then let's drink to our heart's content today." The two of them drank until deep into the night. Chen Xiang rushed to Yu Fan's residence without stopping. When Yu Fan saw that Chen Xiang had arrived, the doubt in his heart had already been dispelled. "Lord Yu, thank you for the divine deity. I have successfully condensed my soul essence." Chen Xiang revealed an extremely grateful expression. "I've made you wait for a long time." Yu Fan nodded his head, then sent a sound transmission to Chen Xiang. "I have long since helped you find a target, that guy's name is Jin Yang." Yu Fan tapped the center of Chen Xiang's brows with his finger, transmitting the details of Jin Yang to Chen Xiang's mind. "This fellow is quite formidable, he might need some time." When Chen Xiang heard Jin Yang's detailed information, he already had a plan in mind. "As soon as possible." Yu Fan nodded. Chen Xiang was immediately powerful. Yu Fan frowned as he looked at Chen Xiang's message, and sighed, because he could only rely on the God of fortune to work together with the L Devil Emperor, and at that time, Chen Xiang would definitely be done for, and that was why he got Chen Xiang to help him hunt divine deity as soon as possible, otherwise, he would not have the chance to do so in the future. "This guy thinks you're dead for sure again, but he's not stupid and wants you to kill someone like Yang Yen." Long Shui laughed. "If he wants me to send myself to my death, then his losses will be great, because he has already used a divine deity on me. Furthermore, he has also given me many benefits, but it is not like he will lose money. As long as I help him get a set of divine deity, he can make a comeback." Chen Xiang said. The guy who went to kill was not very strong, but he was very fierce and had been expelled by many cities. Although Jin Yang did not kill anyone, he liked to beat people up. Because Jin Yang was forbidden from entering the city, he could only stay in the outer parts of the mountains. The place Chen Xiang wanted to go to right now was the very mountain where Jin Yang frequently visited. "Have you decided how to kill Yu Fan?" Long Shui asked. "It's best for you to leave quickly. If the God of fortune decides to join in, then there will be a huge problem. I have already thought about it, but I will need the help of elder sister Menger and the others." Chen Xiang left the city, and after confirming that no one was following them, he released the Azure Dragon Cloak. "What do you need our help for?" Lu Menger asked. "We don't know how to kill people. I'm good at it, but I'm not strong enough for now." Leng Yulan shouted excitedly. "I'm not asking you to kill someone. It's time for you to make something for me." Chen Xiang stood on top of a tall mountain and released his divine power to search for Jin Yang. Shui Xianxian said, "You want us to refine a fake divine deity to trick Yu Fan?" Chen Xiang laughed. "I guessed half right. I want you all to refine a piece of true divine deity, and explode it within a set amount of time, and blast Yu Fan to death. This is not easy to refine. You are an alchemist, and you even refined those destructive ice seal Dan. You should be more skilled at it. Dongfang Xinyue said. When the time comes, Yu Fan will definitely hide his divine deity inside the divine sense sea, completely isolating himself from the outside world. I remember that there is a method to refine divine deity into an offensive treasure in that divine book. Think about it again carefully and see if there is one that can explode at a fixed time. Chen Xiang quickly located Jin Yang's location. Alright, let's temporarily suspend the refining of the divine vessel and go read the divine book first, Lu Menger said. Chen Xiang used the azure dragon cloak and instantly appeared behind Jin Yang. This Jin Yang had a delicate and handsome appearance. One couldn't tell that he was a notorious violent madman. It was said that those that had been beaten by him would be crippled. Since he didn't kill anyone, he wouldn't go to H.E.L.L. Jin Yang had also cultivated Emperor Soul, which could be considered a demi-G.O.D. just like Chen Xiang. Seeing that Chen Xiang had suddenly appeared in front of him, Jin Yang did not say a word, took out a huge rod, and smashed fiercely towards Chen Xiang. His pretty face turned sinister, as if he wanted to smash Chen Xiang into a meat patty. Jin Yang's rod fiercely smashed into Chen Xiang's body, SMAs. HI, plusing half of his body into smithereens. You overestimate yourself. Jin Yang looked at Chen Xiang, who had half of his body smashed away, and snorted coldly. However, what he did not know was that the one that was smashed apart by Chen Xiang just now was an illusion created by the spell Chen Xiang released. The real Chen Xiang was at a high mountain in the distance, pulling open the Suzaku bow's profound bow, and a silver-white arrow suddenly appeared on it. Let's test the strength of the Suzaku bow. The bow that Chen Xiang formed used a large amount of divine power, along with the power of his soul force's innate ability. The golden sun walked towards the illusion and was about to kick the Suzaku bow. The Suzaku bow's bow shook, and with a swoosh, the silver-white bow arrow pierced through Jin Yang's body and exploded inside him in the blink of an eye. Jin Yang howled in pain as he looked down at the gaping hole in his stomach. So strong. Chen Xiang heaved a sigh of relief, but that arrow just now had consumed half of his divine power. Chen Xiang kept his Suzaku bow and came over to the crazy Jin Yang's back. He summoned his green dragon demon-slain broadsword and chopped his head off, then used soul-absorbing devil spell and devouring magic kung fu to skillfully absorb the divine deity and the divine soul. Isn't this guy pretty good? Chen Xiang did not expect to succeed so easily. Isn't it all because of the Suzaku bow's power, taking advantage of the moment when the others weren't prepared, attacking from afar, and furthermore, focusing its power on a bow? It would be strange if it wasn't powerful. However, if you were to fight with this guy normally, the amount of divine power you would use up would probably be just a little. Long Shui said. Chen Xiang placed his divine deity inside the ring, allowing the girls to think of a way to refine it. At this time, he also returned to Bane too. Senior, there is news that is considered good news for you. However, it is also bad news. Chen Xiang said. What and what? Hurry up and say it. The Azure Dragon did not understand. H.E.L. Devil Emperor intends to cooperate with the other gods. As long as you work with him to kill me, when he obtains the heavenly alchemy, he will share it with the gods. I heard that there are many Empyrean gods who are ready to make a move. Even the god of Fortune is thinking the same thing. If the god of Fortune also joins, then there will be a lot of profound god and war gods who will come here to deal with me. Chen Xiang said. This is good news. The Azure Dragon immediately became excited. Come on, come on. Come practice with me. Chen Xiang laughed bitterly. The bad news is, if I had left, they would not have come. When the Green Dragon heard Chen Xiang say that he wanted to leave, he immediately shouted anxiously. Don't leave, wait for those guys to come, then I will send you away. When the green dragon heard Chen Xiang say that he wanted to leave, he immediately shouted anxiously. Don't leave, wait for those guys to come, then I will send you away. This. Chen Xiang hesitated, then said, What if they have too many people, and you can't handle them? I'm not even afraid. What are you afraid of? They don't dare to kill me either, there's penalty heavenly G. Oh. D watching them. The green dragon grabbed Chen Xiang's shoulders with both of his hands and started shaking him. Don't be in such a hurry to leave this place. Even if you do me a favor, I'll be even more bored if you leave. Are you sure you don't have to worry? If the G. Oh. D of fortune really joins, then it'll be hard to say for sure. Chen Xiang was still a little worried. He did not want to kill Azure Dragon. If I say it's fine, then it's fine. You really don't have to worry about me. When the Azure Dragon thought of the large number of profound G, O, D war G, ODS, he became extremely excited. All right, when those fellows come, you will immediately send me off. You're not afraid of them, I'm afraid. Chen Xiang said, Will you be able to send me away then? Of course I can make it in time. I'll be able to get you away soon, so you can rest easy. The Azure Dragon said with a smile, If they really come, then I have a chance for a breakthrough. With these guys here playing with me, I won't feel bored in the future. Chen Xiang curled his lips. The green dragon actually thought of this as a game. That was a very dangerous thing to do, upon knowing that the G. O. D of fortune might want to join, he started to panic. I'm going to start concocting pills. Chen Xiang sat down under a tree and took out a blood ginseng. He then continued to refine more dragon blood Saint Dan, and when he returned back, he would give some of them to his friends in order to rope them in. It was just that he did not have enough spirit liquid right now, and could not duplicate too many of them. Recalling how he had eaten so many blood ginseng alive before, Chen Xiang felt a wave of pity. If he had used all of them to refine dragon blood Saint Dan S, he would definitely be able to obtain a lot of them. I can only return to LV Chilian to condense those spirit pearls together. This way, I can quickly obtain a large amount of holy level medicinal herbs. As he thought about how he had an intimate relations, HI plus P with LV Chilian, Chen Xiang couldn't help but think back to the past. Elder Sister Menger, when can you refine that divine deity again? Chen Xiang asked. It would be best to refine it before those war G-O. D profound G-O-D-S come. I don't want to go crazy together with the Azure Dragon. Let's wait for another 2 to 3 days. This is our first time refining it. We need to be careful. Lu Meng'er replied. Chen Xiang only had 3 blood ginseng left. He could only refine 2, and he would need to keep 1 for replication. This time, he successfully refined another batch and obtained 3 dragon blood Saint Dan. However, he still did not use his innate ability to refine them. Try using your innate divine ability this time. After Chen Xiang placed the blood ginseng into the pill furnace, he used the power of the sacred art inside his soul essence to release the creator's fire and poured it into the furnace. After the blood ginseng was burnt by the flame, it immediately erupted into a ball of blood qi, causing the pill furnace to shake non-stop. Chen Xiang increased the intensity of the big flame, at the same time using the Tai Chi God purification to suppress the resistance released by the blood ginseng. The flames released by his innate ability were extremely powerful, and the speed of the refined blood ginseng was much faster than when he used the rainbow sacred flame. It seems that as long as I use a normal refining method and use this life ability, it will become much easier. Chen Xiang felt that this furnace refined much faster than the previous 2, and it consumed much less energy. The Saint Revitalizing Pellet should be a mid-tier Saint Pellet. Refining all kinds of holy level S into 1 is extremely difficult. Looks like Feng Yujie's skill in pill refinement is extremely high. Chen Xiang felt that he couldn't even refine a medial-grade holy pellet now. When he thought of Feng Yujie, Chen Xiang immediately thought of the two that Feng Yujie had adopted as his Go daughter. This made him even more anxious to return. Lu Menger, Xue Xianxian, and the others already knew that Long Shui and Su Meiyao had told them. I am now a pill saint. Wait until I go to G.O.D's realm, I will definitely become a pill G.O.D. Chen Xiang's goal was also higher. He found out from the Azure Dragon that there were not many pill G.O.Ds in the G.O.Ds realm. The trembling Yanlong furnace suddenly calmed down. Chen Xiang's eyes flashed with flames. He clenched his fists and bellowed, "Gather!" The 3 cyclones inside the furnace began to search and quickly formed into pills. The Azure Dragon watched from the side and said, "Is it done?" "It's done. It's a bit faster than the previous 2 batches." Chen Xiang opened the pill furnace and took out 3 blood-red dragon blood Saint Danat. Although there was a faint smell of blood, it did not make anyone uncomfortable. Using an innate divine ability is different. It's actually so much faster. The green dragon felt surprised. In G.O.D's realm, for a normal pill saint to refine this kind of pill, they would need at least a few days. Even the faster ones would be slower than you. Long Shui laughed. You have yet to see anything faster, it's just that his current experience is insufficient. Otherwise, why don't you show him the 100 blood ginseng he has refined so that he can have a look, and at that time, his refining speed will be even more astonishing. Hi+ing. What Long Shui said was right. Chen Xiang was very familiar with this dragon blood Saint Dan. Adding on to the fact that he was using Dewan refining method, he was refining multiple batches at the same time, his speed and quant. tie of pills being produced would not decrease at all. If I were to use my innate ability to refine low-grade immortal pills, I might not even need a pill furnace. I could just finish it with the palm of my hand. Chen Xiang laughed. This life ability is really something good. To be able to produce such a magical power, if I could cultivate a second life ability, wouldn't that be even better? Senior, did you see any deities in the G.O.D's realm who could cultivate the second life ability? Chen Xiang asked. He knew that this was not an easy task, because the Azure Dragon did not have a second life ability right now. I've seen them before. Basically, there are Empyrean G.O.Ds in the Divine Halls, some are 3rd or 4th, and then this will be used to measure their strength. I heard that the stronger an Empyrean G.O.D is, the more divine deity they have. The Green Dragon sighed. I am also trying to cultivate, but it will be very difficult, unless I can become a super profound G.O.D. At that time, as long as I can cultivate the second divine deity, I can become a G.O.D. This is a very distant matter, you'd better not think too much about it. Come one step at a time. Chen Xiang nodded and asked, Senior, when the time comes, how will you send me out? The time in this place is very chaotic. I have my ways. As long as you are not a true G.O.D, I can send you out. Didn't the vermilion bird have the same cultivation as you before, so I also gave her out? The Azure Dragon said with a smile, You don't have to worry. When you send me out, you will definitely consume a lot of energy. How can you withstand the profound G.O.D and war G.O.D who are surrounding and attacking you? Chen Xiang remembered that the Azure Dragon had said before that it would take a lot of energy to send him out of the divine prison. The Green Dragon told Chen Xiang not to think too much. Although he was confident that he could handle it, Chen Xiang was still worried. The Green Dragon told Chen Xiang not to think too much. Although he was confident that he could handle it, Chen Xiang was still worried. Chen Xiang stayed there for a few days. Lu Menger and the other girls also finished refining the divine deity. Right now those profound G.O.Ds and war G.O.D ODS have yet to come down. It's not like I can't leave this place too quickly and kill you Fan. I'm afraid the penalty Heavenly God will appear. Chen Xiang looked at the divine deity in his hands, and became a little hesitant. This divine deity will explode in 5 days. Even if placed inside the storage magic treasure, it will still explode out. The main reason is because it will detonate the powerful energy contained within the divine deity, so you only have 5 days. Shui Xianxian said, when the time comes, I will ask Grandfather Azure Dragon and see if penalty Heavenly God knows about this. It would also be against the rules for you Fan to hunt divine deity here, so he deserves to be killed. The Green Dragon said, It's fine, as long as you don't do it yourself. There's nothing much to say about penalty Heavenly God, but at that time it will be a little troublesome. After all, Yu Fan is someone that God's realm sent down. If Feng Shen wants to pursue the matter, it would be hard to say. After Chen Xiang heard the Azure Dragon's words, he took the divine deity of 10 million Feng Shen native bank and went to find Yu Fan. At least he had earned a set of divine deity now. He was also worried about the S that were coming down from God's realm, as he felt that it would be the time of Chen Xiang's death. Any new targets? Chen Xiang laughed. This time, progress is more successful. Not at the moment. Wait a little longer. Yu Fan had thought about it carefully previously and decided not to let Chen Xiang hunt divine deity for him anymore. Lord Yu, I'm in urgent need of some divine money to purchase a good magical equipment. Can you give me some first? Chen Xiang also wanted to take this opportunity to earn some money. How much do you need? Yu Fan asked. $800. The divine money that Chen Xiang wanted was for Tai Chong. He promised to help Tai Chong return to the God's realm, since Tai Chong had helped him before. I only have 700 for now. Yu Fan pondered for a moment and gave Chen Xiang 700 gold. Chen Xiang left a secret mark here, and he soon found out that Tai Chong was currently in a small city nearby. After arriving at the small city, Chen Xiang found Tai Chong, and without a word, he stuffed the storage bag back to Tai Chong. There are 700 gold coins in here. That should be enough for you to leave. Chen Xiang sent a sound transmission to Tai Chong. I am hiding behind a lot of trouble, quickly leave. Don't ever let Yu Fan have his eyes on you. He already wanted to kill me off. Tai Chong was extremely grateful to Chen Xiang. He also didn't expect that Chen Xiang, a person who had just arrived at divine prison, would already have obtained this much divine money to help him leave the divine prison. No need to thank me, farewell. Tai Chong left very straightforwardly. Watching Tai Chong leave, Chen Xiang hoped that he would become stronger in the future when he reached God's realm. It's time to go back. It's safer to stay by Azure Dragon's side. When Chen Xiang returned to the second calamity, he saw the Green Dragon standing at the top of the mountain all day with a face full of antic 1 waiting for those profound Gods to come. After Chen Xiang returned, the Green Dragon came down from the top. Being locked in this place was indeed very boring. Other than cultivating, he wanted to find some fun. Senior, I'll return this to you. Chen Xiang handed the Green Dragon cape to the Green Dragon. From now on, don't run around. As long as I sense the arrival of those fellows, I will immediately send you away. As long as you are by my side, you will be fine. The Green Dragon took the cloak. This cloak was also a pretty good divine tool, and Lu Menger and the others had already researched it before. Right now, Shui Xianxian and the others were focused on refining the divine vessel in the ring. To them, the most difficult thing was smelting those top stones, but fortunately Chen Xiang had bought a divine furnace for them before, so they could be of great use during the smelting process. Furthermore, the Green Dragon was also injecting a ball of fire into the ring, so they only needed to control the flame. 3 days had passed. said, and Chun Xiang was leaning on a tree and studying the heavenly alchemy. At this time, just as dawn broke, the green dragon cried out in alarm, and suddenly appeared in front of Chun Xiang. "He's here." The green dragon's face was filled with excitement. "Brat, we'll be saying our goodbyes like this. Be good to that little girl and don't let her die again." As the green dragon spoke, he released a very powerful dragon G-O-D power. The S-P-A-C behind him began to fluctuate. What shocked Chun Xiang was that he felt a type of power of law from the terrifying dragon God's power of the Azure Dragon. Because he possessed the spatial rule spiritual bead, he was extremely familiar with this kind of power of law, even though it wasn't the same kind of power as himself. "It's the time laws." Chun Xiang was extremely shocked. The green dragon actually grasped the laws of time. No wonder he could send him away from here. "Goodbye." After the green dragon finished speaking, he anxiously turned around and threw Chun Xiang into the spatial tunnel that was opened behind him. Before Chun Xiang even had the chance to say his goodbyes to the Azure Dragon, he had arrived in a forest filled with purple light. "It's the purple leaf forest. I'm back." Chun Xiang landed on a tree branch and shook off a purple glowing leaf. After the green dragon sent Chun Xiang away, a ray of rainbow light suddenly appeared above him. Hundreds of profound God wearing different colored sacred armor that emitted different colored rays of light appeared with divine weapons in their hands. Before they had come, they already knew what kind of expert the Azure Dragon was. But now, seeing that the Azure Dragon was only a small old man, they couldn't help but feel disdain in their hearts. "You guys are looking for Chun Xiang, right? He has already left." The green dragon laughed. "You came here for nothing. You should know that after entering the divine prison for 1 year, you can pay the divine money to leave, which also means you will have to stay here for another year. I am not looking for Chun Xiang. The mission you guys received was to come here and defeat you, and to cripple you," a large man said coldly. After that man said that, dozens of profound G-O-D stepped forward. "We are here to deal with Chun Xiang." These 100 or so profound G-O-Ds all carried out different missions. "Regardless, you will still have to stay here for a year." The Azure Dragon laughed loudly. "This 1 year's time is enough for me to defeat you and cripple you." After the Azure Dragon finished speaking, a great battle immediately broke out. Chun Xiang returned to the Life Forest. He was a little worried about the Azure Dragon, but worrying was useless. The Azure Dragon knows the time laws, but he might only have an initial grasp of it, otherwise he can definitely leave the divine prison. Chun Xiang said, "Old Cyan Bug is truly powerful. Back then, I was slightly stronger than him. Now I am truly inferior to him." Long Shui sighed. "I might be able to become an Empyrean God in the future." Chun Xiang looked around. "We can go back now. Even if a large group of strong of Lord Stage comes to capture me, they won't be able to do anything to me." After returning, Chun Xiang was able to use the power of the spatial laws. He opened a spatial pause sageway and returned to Di Tian. "Is this Di Tian?" Chun Xiang exclaimed. "Are you in the wrong place? You haven't used the law of S-P-A-C for so long, and you're already unfamiliar with it?" Long Shui anxiously said. Even though the place Chun Xiang resided was a forest, the concentrated Holy Spirit energy here was like the best location among all the endless heaven realm like a high-grade holy stone mine. Chun Xiang could not help but suspect that there was a dragon vein of the holy stone here. "That's right, this is Di Tian." Chun Xiang was extremely certain. Could it be that a long time has said here and then we grew up? Huh! Ling Yulan was a little worried. "Then won't we be left behind the others?" "Yulan, you have my white dragon vein, you don't have to worry about falling behind. With your brother, the Pill Saint, you can quickly surpa SS me." Long Shui laughed. Chun Xiang said, "This used to be a city, but it is no longer here. How long has it been since Tian arrived? Qin Xiang floated high in the sky, and once again opened a spatial pa's sageway. This time, he arrived at an extremely large city. The city where the hundreds of flowers palace used to be has actually become so huge. Qin Xiang floated in the sky and looked down at the endless buildings below. What a strong defensive array. I can't even use the power of SPAC to break through it. Qin Xiang was shocked once again. He then landed on the ground and stood in front of the gigantic city gate, looking at the 4 big words, 100 Blossom Holy Nations. How many years has it been? From those 4 words, Qin Xiang could tell that this place had already been completely occupied by LV Qilian, and that she had even become a true flower emperor. When Qin Xiang entered the city gates, he needed to explain his item. One tie in background. Moreover, he had previously discovered that there were quite a few disguised people who would be reflected in the huge mirror placed beside the city gates when they entered. Qin Xiang took out the order badge from the Flower Emperor and handed it over to the city guard. The guard took a look at it and immediately became respectful towards Qin Xiang. It's been so long, but this brand is still so useful. Qin Xiang kept the plate and easily entered the city gate. There were 2 areas. One was the teleportation area of the 100 Blossom Holy Nations, and the other was the teleportation area of the 100 Blossom Holy Nations. Qin Xiang arrived at the teleportation area and saw the Ice Dragon Holy Nations, Demon Suppressing Holy Nations, Fire Divine Nations, Holy Ice Nation, Holy Thunder Nation. From those names, he could tell what kind of powers these holy nations were originally. Divine Feather Nation. Feng Yujie is here too. Long Shui said. What happened to Tian? The power of the Holy Spirit is so dense that even endless heaven realms were left far behind, and have all come here brazenly. Qin Xiang said. Could this be one of the 3 water overlords of the sacred water heavenly realm, the floating city? Back then City Lord was a good person. I helped you stop the group of strong of lords stage chasing after you. Long Shui said. The Ho clan of one of the 3 water overlords should be that sacred marquee country. She should also be here. Dongfang Xinyue clenched her teeth. She was indeed wanted by the Ho clan at that time. There's also the Supreme Holy Nations, Saint Evil Kingdom. It's good that these guys are here, so I don't have to run around and chase them down. Qin Xiang sneered. Ling Yulan said, Brother, why is there no dragon subduing holy nations? The strength of the dragon subduing school should also be at the top, and should be very strong, and should be able to establish a holy nations. But right now, Qin Xiang has yet to find any transmission arrays from the teleportation area that can teleport to the dragon subduing holy nations, and not even near the dragon subduing school. The strength of the dragon subduing school should also be at the top, and should be very strong, and should be able to establish a holy nations. But right now, Qin Xiang has yet to find any transmission arrays from the teleportation area that can teleport to the dragon subduing holy nations, and not even near the dragon subduing school. With Duan Ming and Master there, with their strength, they should be very strong now. Dragon subduing school should be fine. Qin Xiang calmed himself down. Furthermore, he would not let the dragon subduing school be destroyed, just like Jiang Xing and the others. As long as they were there, even if the other holy nations wanted to attack the dragon subduing school, they had to be prepared for a huge battle. The 100 Flower Emperor Palace had been expanded to become even more grand and vast than before, and the formation that enveloped the Hundreds of Flowers Palace was even more powerful than before. Divine power was unable to penetrate through, unless he forcefully sent his divine power in, it would definitely be discovered, and he wouldn't be able to enter and leave as he pleased in the past. Who helped her build that formation? It's so powerful. Long Shui also tried it. If she continued to increase her divine power, it would alarm Hundreds of Flowers Palace. The changes were so great. When we left that time, there were no such powerful restrictions. Lu Meng'er was surprised. How long have we been gone? Chen Xiang also wanted to know the answer, so he held the jade tablet and directly went in through the main entrance of the Hundreds of Flowers Palace. Chen Xiang was brought by a beautiful girl into a living room. The place was filled with fragrance, the decorations were simple and elegant, the flowers and tea were delicious and sweet, causing Chen Xiang to suddenly want to stay there for a while. After arriving at the Hundreds of Flowers Palace, Lu Meng'er and the others did not come out. They still had to refine the divine H.I+P inside, so they were worried that they would be disturbed after coming out. Chen Xiang, who was enjoying his tea, suddenly sensed a familiar aura. He anxiously turned his head, and saw a beauty with short hair that was shoulder to shoulder. Although she looked cute and exquisite, her body had a cold and proud temperament, especially her dignified eyes, making people fear her, and not underestimate him just because of her soft body. This woman was LV Qilian's most prized subordinate, Little Lizzie. Little Lizzie. Seeing that Little Lizzie was so powerful, Chen Xiang could not help but exclaim in shock. How did you become so powerful? When Little Lizzie saw that Chen Xiang had changed back to his original appearance, he knew that it was Chen Xiang. She had already known that someone was carrying LV Qilian's secret order to enter Hundreds of Flowers Palace. After seeing Chen Xiang, Little Lizzie's cold and dignified eyes became a little gentler. She had a special kind of complicated feeling towards Chen Xiang, which was hard to put into words, because Chen Xiang had risked his life to save her before, and they were both in her most dangerous moments. Furthermore, Chen Xiang treated her very well, and was also very powerful. Chen Xiang, you're finally back. Little Lizzie anxiously walked in and whispered, "Follow me." Chen Xiang followed behind Little Lizzie as she giggled while staring at her slim back. Little Lizzie was wearing a white tight suit which made her body look curvaceous and curvaceous, especially her perky B.U.T. talk. When she walked, Chen Xiang revealed a mischievous smile. Humph! Little Lizzie never thought that Chen Xiang would still be the same as always, teasing her like this. Little Lizzie brought Chen Xiang into a secret room and immediately asked, "Where are Meng'er and Xianxian? Aren't they with you?" Chen Xiang nodded. "They are together with me. They are doing very well. How long have I been gone? There's been a huge change in Dtian. You've been gone for 5,000 years and you don't know about it?" Little Lizzie was a little surprised. What kind of experience did you experience after entering the dark area of the life forest? He actually doesn't know how time has passed, said. It's a long story. Chen Xiang and the few girls were extremely shocked. They did not stay in the divine prison for long, and it had actually been 5,000 years. Where are Qilian and the rest? Are they all right? Chen Xiang asked. Little Lizzie shook his head. Many things have happened. Asgard Master brought a group of disciples away from the Hundreds of Flowers Palace. Chen Xiang's heart immediately became anxious. Grabbing onto Little Lizzie's shoulder, he asked anxiously, "Where did you go? When did this happen?" "You don't have to worry too much about what happened 3 years ago," Little Lizzie anxiously said, and got rid of Chen Xiang. "With Great Emperor Lu with them, you do not have to worry, many experts will be there." Hearing that Elvision was going with him, Chen Xiang felt a lot more at ease. Right, has there never been a great battle here in the past 5,000 years? Chen Xiang was a little surprised. So many powerful forces of the endless heaven realm had all come here, but this place was actually so peaceful. It happened once 2,000 years ago. At that time, your dragon subduing school would have been taken down, your evil dragon graveyard would have been destroyed, your dragon subduing school would have disintegrated. Little Lizzie saw Chen Xiang's expression darken, and said again, "We all have a way to help them, but after Clan Elder Huang made the decision to give up on Dragon Subduing School, if not the casualties would be extremely heavy." Chen Xiang clenched his fist tightly and said coldly, "Who has occupied that dragon vein?" "The 10 great holy nations built a big holy city there. That place is controlled by the 10 great holy nations, and it was the 10 great holy nations who took that place. When little Lizzie saw that Chen Xiang could immediately suppress his anger, he couldn't help but be shocked. This was because Chen Xiang was very calm, but that formless rage was extremely frightening. Without even needing little Lizzie to say it, Chen Xiang could already guess what kind of rubbish the 10 great holy nations were. Little Lizzie, have you heard any news of Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu during this period? Chen Xiang asked again. After so long, he felt that Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu should already be able to exit from closed-door cultivation. Yes, they were originally at the Divine Feather Holy Nations, but in the end they still joined our Hundreds of Flowers Palace, and were elders of our Hundreds of Flowers Palace. They went to the Life Forest several times, and wanted to look for you, but were stopped by the mistress. Chen Xiang asked, "Did they go to that place with Big Sis Jillian? What exactly is that place?" "I only know that place is the Chaos Realm. Asgard Mistress has allowed me to guard this place, and then take away Hundreds of Flowers Palace's main force, and the same goes for all the other great holy nations." As little Lizzie sighed, "They have been gone for 3 years, and there has not been any news at all. Have you ever sent anyone to practice them? Then where is the Chaos Realm?" Chen Xiang was suddenly very interested in the Chaos Realm. He felt that it had something to do with the Chaos Fire token. "It is inside the chaotic mountain of the original Sacred Dan realm," little Lizzie said. "That door is still open, but the people who went in did not come out. Asgard Master had instructed me before to not send anyone in to look for them." "So you're saying my master went in as well? All the experts who are familiar with you have gone in." Little Lizzie nodded. "Right, where is May Emperor? This fellow should have already appeared." Chen Xiang was currently very gloomy. He had the nagging feeling that he lived a few thousand years less. What he did not know was that when the Azure Dragon used the time laws to send him away, a small problem occurred in the time and space tunnel, which resulted in him coming to the Dtion Palace for a very long time. It appeared and caused many big incidents. Furthermore, she was the one who discovered the Chaos Realm, and it is said that there are traces of the 9 heavens gods inside. Or maybe there was a 9-heaven devil palace inside. Everyone knows about the mysterious deaths of the 9 heavens gods. As long as we can find them, we will be able to obtain their inheritance. That's why many experts went to the Chaos Realm. Little Lizzie looked at Chen Xiang and pulled his sleeves. "Are you going to go in as well?" But before we go in, I want to take back the dragon fountain." Chen Xiang snorted. "These bastards, taking advantage of my absence, they actually took our dragon fountain." Just as Chen Xiang finished speaking, a powerful aura came from outside, and penetrated through the restrictions in the secret room, penetrating inside. "They're back!" Little Lizzie shouted in shock. "Let's go out and take a look." Chen Xiang suddenly wanted to curse in his heart. He was just thinking that the 10 great holy nations was not here, so he could take care of it. But now that LV Qilian and the others had returned, it meant that the experts of the 10 great holy nations were also back, which meant that it would be difficult to take care of them. After knowing that over 5,000 years had passed, said here, Lu Menger, Xue Xianxian and the rest of the girls also hurriedly came out of the ring, which made her feel a little uncomfortable. They had not gone to the divine prison for long, but it had been 5,000 years since they had come here, which made them fall behind a lot. "Isn't this too much of a coincidence? They came back the moment I came out." Chen Xiang suddenly felt that this was definitely not a coincidence. The El Devil Emperor definitely knew that he had returned to Dtion. LV Qilian really returned with LV Qinlian and Ji Meixian by her side. Once they entered the hall, LV Qilian and the other 2 girls saw Chen Xiang and the others, but they were not surprised at all. They had obviously heard that Chen Xiang had returned. "This. Long time no see, it's not been too long." Qin Xiang sighed. Being able to see all of you again is really good. Luckily I didn't fall behind by too much. Shui Xianxian muttered. They probably already have divine deity, but we are way behind them. Qin Xiang, you took them away for more than 5,000 years. What did you do? LV Qilian looked carefully at the strength of Lu Meng'er, Shui Xianxian, Leng Yulan, Dongfang Xinyue and the others, and he immediately got angry. Qilian, this is not his fault. We've only been there 1 or 2 years. We don't understand why it has only been 5,000 years since we left that place. Lu Meng'er quickly explained. Qin Xiang sat on a chair and looked carefully at LV Qilian, LV Qinlian and Ji Meixian. LV Qilian's strength was very strong, but Qin Xiang was unable to see through her, since LV Qinlian already possessed divine deity, and he had even cultivated an emperor's soul. Ji Meixian originally had the bloodline of the undying bird, and his strength was very strong as well. What about them? Qin Xiang asked. Who are you talking about? LV Qilian snorted. This. Sister Yu Yu and Sister Mei Yao. Qin Xiang asked. He went back to the divine feather holy nations with Feng Yujie. When LV Qilian saw that Qin Xiang still had more to ask, he said, Ziqian is also with them, they are both currently at the divine feather holy nations. He went back to the divine feather holy nations with Feng Yujie. When LV Qilian saw that Qin Xiang still had more to ask, he said, Ziqian is also with them, they are both currently at the divine feather holy nations. Said that he would go and tidy up his clothes, and he will be there shortly. Zilan and the other 3 sisters went to take care of their business here, while the other 2 went to the Holy Spirit Rabbit's captivity room. Xiang Yu and Qianqian are still in Chaos Realm. Qin Xiang forced out a few dry laughs. He did not expect LV Qilian to tell him the whereabouts of these girls in one go. Shui Xianxian, who was at the side, lightly pinched his waist and had a trace of jealousy on his face. Although she had long known that Qin Xiang had some ambiguous relations, Hi+P with many girls, she couldn't do anything about it. We will be refining in the Hundreds of Flowers Palace during this time. Qilian, I might need your help at that time. Lu Meng'er said, since you all know that Qin Xiang has returned, it means that Qin Xiang has not gotten rid of H.E.L. Devil Emperor's tracing mantra yet. Shui Xianxian and Dongfang Xinyue both returned to the ring to clean up. After you entered the life forest, did you actually experience it? What kind of world is it inside? LV Qinlian looked at Qin Xiang with a charming smile, but her eyes were filled with longing. Let them talk. In short, I've only been inside for a year or 2, and I don't know how I lost those 5,000 years. Even if the time inside was disordered, it wouldn't be so disorderly as that. Qin Xiang was already suspecting that there was a problem with the Green Dragon's time code power. Bro, sis. When Mu Qianxiang came in and saw Qin Xiang and the others, she immediately shouted and threw herself into Leng Yulan's embrace. The 2 of them were very aggressive and had often fought together, with deep feelings for each other. Xiao Xiang, you're so much stronger than me, Leng Yulan said with a bitter face. I lost 5,000 years, but I will definitely catch up. Then, Shui Xianxian pulled Mu Qianxiang and told them what had happened in Divine Prison. What exactly is inside the Chaos Realm? Why did you guys enter all of a sudden? Qin Xiang asked. The 9 Heaven World and the Endless Heaven Realm's core world. However, it is relatively dangerous inside, so it is not suitable for us to migrate. It is only suitable for us to search for treasures of the heavens and earth, as well as the remains of deities. Xiang Yu and Qianqian are inside searching for the holy level's medicinal ingredient. LV Qilian came over to Qin Xiang's side and continued, because you suddenly came back, the holy nations' emperors all anxiously brought their people back, afraid that you would enter while you were still in the air. Speaking of the dragon subduing school being taken care of, the anger in Qin Xiang's heart immediately flared up. After the dragon subduing school was destroyed, where did they go? I'm going to look for them. Chen Xiang asked. You've only been there a year or two, and 5,000 years have passed, said. Are you sure you have the strength to fight back? LV Qilian said. At first we were already prepared for a tough battle, but in the end your master chose to give up on the dragon subduing school. He was also very clear about the strength of the 10 great holy nations, and after so much time had passed, said, your master grew up in secret, so even though his strength has increased, he still feels that this is not the time for a big battle. Especially you. You are lagging behind a lot. Although LV Qilian could not see through Chen Xiang's current strength, according to common sense, Chen Xiang was more than 5,000 years behind. No matter how strong he was, he would definitely be unable to compare to the 10 great holy nations who had the Devil Emperor's secret support. Also, right now, the strongest is the Fire Divine Nations. The Fire Divine Nations is alone and not within the 10 great holy nations, but the one with the most dragon vein is this Fire Divine Nations. Because the Fire Divine Nations is secretly supported by the Fire Divine Palace above, and is even more powerful in every aspect. What? Chen Xiang gritted his teeth. Could it be that the half-dead Fire Emperor from back then became very strong? That's right, Chi-S. Hi plus was injured by him. I was almost killed. That Fire Emperor is really strong now. I'm afraid even I am not his match. If you want to start a war now, my Hundreds of Flowers Palace will definitely support you, but you better think carefully. At the very least, you need to understand what happened during the past 5,000 years. LV Qilian let out a light sigh. She could clearly feel Chen Xiang's current anger. Her own dragon subduing school would definitely be very angry if it was taken away and her dragon veins SNATC head away. If we are to start a war, I will not allow you all to partake. 1p8. My dragon subduing school can take care of it. Chen Xiang's voice was calm. Looking at Long Shui, he smiled lightly. Very high elder of dragon subduing school, let's go. Bro, I want to go too. Leng Yulan knew that she was very weak now, but she really wanted to help. I'm going too. I've obtained the Sword Emperor's inheritance, and now I already possess the divine deity. Mu Qianxiang said with a confident smile. Yulan, you stay here. Qilian should have a way to help you all quickly increase your strength. Menger, put aside the matter of refining the divine vessel, make good use of the Holy Spirit rabbit blood. Also, I will send you the holy elixir at regular intervals. Hearing Chen Xiang's calm tone, Leng Yulan and Mu Qianxiang did not say any more, because Chen Xiang gave them a very strange feeling, causing them to not dare to disobey. Chi-S. Hi plus said that you would definitely be able to find the bottom of their Yuming deep abyss. LV Qilian said, do not force yourself. If you need help, 100 Blossom Holy Nations, Ice Dragon Holy Nations, Demon Suppressing Holy Nations, Divine Feather Holy Nations and Floating Life Holy Nations will all be able to help you. Floating Holy Nations? Chen Xiang never thought that the Emperor Lu Fuxing of the Floating Holy Nations would actually have such a good relations. Hi plus P with the Dragon Subduing School. Yes, during the great battle back then, Lu Fuxing partook. 1p aided in it as well. If your master did not ask for it to stop, I think that even though the outcome was somewhat tragic, the Dragon Subduing School and the Dragon Vein could still be preserved. LV Qilian said. My master might be crazy, but he did a good job on this. If there had been too many casualties at that time, it would not have been a good thing. The Devil Emperor would have used the large number of dead spirits to recover from his injuries. Chen Xiang said. I'll go find my master and the others first, and after I'm done chatting with them, I'll come back to discuss an important matter with you because I urgently need a batch of holy-level medicinal herbs. What Chen Xiang said was precisely to cultivate the alive-slain method with her, and condense those spirit pearls with her. At that time she would have to kiss him endlessly, but she had some expectations in her heart, even though she looked like a high and mighty emperor on the surface. But seeing that Chen Xiang had returned, she was extremely excited. After Chen Xiang left the 100-blossom holy nations, he immediately opened a spatial door, and went to the bottom of the Yu Ming deep abyss. When he thought of how Dragon Subduing School was forced to hide in this deep abyss, the anger in Chen Xiang's heart burned once again. There was a very large espioncy under the Yu Ming deep abyss. When Chen Xiang arrived at the bottom of the Yu Ming deep abyss, he immediately walked towards the huge cave. There was a very large space under the Yu Ming deep abyss. When Chen Xiang arrived at the bottom of the Yu Ming deep abyss, he immediately walked towards the huge cave. Entering the cave, Chen Xiang saw more than 10 small houses. When Chen Xiang arrived, he purposely activated a defensive array and woke up the people inside the small hut. Chi plus Jiang Xing and Huang Jintian immediately ran out. "Little brat, you're really back. I thought I'd never see you again." Seeing Chen Xiang, Huang Jintian laughed out loud. Chi plus and Jiang Xing also laughed as they hurriedly brought Chen Xiang to a relatively small hall. "Is that all you guys here? What about the others?" Chen Xiang asked. "The Dragon Subduing School has already dispersed. If the others continue to follow us, they would definitely be affected greatly, so I told them to leave and join another force. Rest assured, their background is not bad, and those who go are all recommended by me. They are mainly concentrated in the floating holy nations and demon-suppressing holy nations." Huang Jintian sighed. "Little brat, I'm really sorry I couldn't protect your Dragon Subduing School. And I will also dissolve the Dragon Subduing School." Long Shui came out of the ring, smiled coquettishly, and said, "Where did you disband?" "I am the very high elder of the Dragon Subduing School, and Dragon Subduing School is also here." Long Shui sat beside Chen Xiang, looked at him and laughed. "I heard that you were almost killed by the Fire Emperor, is that true?" Chi plus curled his lips and said, "Can you not mention this matter? The main thing is that I was too careless." Chen Xiang asked, "Master, where did Xiao Dao and the rest go?" Xiao Dao and the rest respectively went to the floating life and demon-suppressing holy nations. Duan Sanchong followed them for a stroll. Li Baojun and his master, Li Tianjun, left, while Yen Yenran and Lan Lan traveled everywhere. In short, they are doing very well, so you don't have to worry too much about them. Huang Jintian patted Chen Xiang's shoulder. "If you have time, go and chat with them." Chen Xiang nodded his head, then asked, "Didn't you guys go to the Chaos Realm as well? After knowing that you have returned, I will immediately return here to wait for you. Mainly to see how powerful the two of you have become in the past 5,000 years. Jiang Xing looked at Long Shui and laughed. "This little gluttonous dragon doesn't seem to be that strong." Long Shui scoffed, "We only stayed in that Ned place for a year or two, and that place has only been here for 5,000 years. If you really give me 5,000 years, I can go with little scoundrel and take care of that bulls. Hi plus T divine nations. Is this true? Where are you going? The time difference is actually so huge." Huang Jintian was in disbelief. "Of course it's true. We even met the old cyan bug. That place is called Divine Prison, mainly." In one breath, Long Shui narrated the many things they did in the Divine Prison, causing them to exclaim in shock. "I never thought that the Green Dragon would become so powerful. Sigh, but I still can't save old Bing." Jiang Xing sighed. "The Azure Dragon has also been sent into Divine Prison. Old Bing will have a hard time taking it." Huang Jintian said, "It must be because something went wrong when the Green Dragon was opening the time space tunnel, so while you guys were inside the time space tunnel, 5,000 years said." Hi plus laughed. "You guys are equivalent to instantly reaching 5,000 years from now. This is not bad. Not bad, your head. Long Shui felt that his current strength was so much weaker than Chi's Hi plus S and Jiangxing's, and felt extremely uncomfortable in his heart. Where are the seniors White Tiger and Vermilion Bird? Chen Xiang asked. Aren't they here? They went to the G.O.D.S. realm, they just left not long ago. Back then, he had partook. 1. P. Aided in too many of Nine Heaven World's business, and in the end, after Dragon Subduing School was disbanded, Nine Heaven World became very calm, and they also left. Hi plus said, we had originally wanted to leave as well, but it's just that. Long Shui interrupted. It's just that you all do not have the ability, otherwise you would have left long ago. This. You can't say that. If we had any intention of leaving, we would definitely be able to leave now. Now we can just barely make it to G.O.D.S. realm. Hi plus laughed. Don't underestimate us. Long Shui said with a look of despise. You guys are really awesome, you won't let Dragon Subduing School disband. This was all Old Yellow's idea. We had originally planned to fight to the bitter end. Jiang Xing immediately looked at Huang Jintian. Huang Jintian let out a long sigh. You are all people that have experienced the battle at the Nine Heaven World back then. This kind of great battle should be handed over to a new generation of youths, not to old bones like us. What's more, if a great battle had broken out at that time, who would be the happiest? Of course it is the Hel Devil Emperor. He can harvest a large number of good dead souls, and make him stronger. Hi plus laughed. So, if we do not have Chen Xiang to partook. 1. P. 8 in this big battle, using the heavenly alchemy to take away those dead spirits, it will definitely benefit the Hel Devil Emperor. Alright. The strongest Dragon Emperor from back then had already been destroyed by us. If Dragon Subduing School is disbanded, then disband. But that dragon vein cannot be given to them just like that. Chen Xiang's voice was filled with killing intent. At the beginning, I was the one who obtained it first, it was something that belonged to me. Fine, we waited for you to come back so that we could fight with you. Hi plus strongly patted Chen Xiang's shoulder. When do I make a move? Huang Jintian said. If it were just us attacking, then there wouldn't be too many deaths. To be honest, I can't bear to see the imps that I have personally nurtured die in Dragon Subduing School. Jiangxing said, Oh right, there's one more thing. It was 5,000 years ago, when the Ice Emperor of the Heavenly Sacred Region used a profound Han poison to attack Wu Qianqian. She nearly died from poison. Is he the Ice Emperor of the Ice Country? Chen Xiang clenched his fists tightly and asked angrily. It's this guy. Because he has pretty good strength, the profound Han poison is not a super old poison now. Jiangxing said. Chen Xiang said, Let's go, we'll head to the Holy Ice Nation first. Hi plus anxiously pulled Chen Xiang along. What's the rush? It's not easy for them to find them and wait for that guy to be alone in Holy Ice Country before we go over to get him. All you need to do now is to wait for news from us. Chen Xiang took a deep breath and nodded. Then, he took out a storage bag and tossed it to Jiangxing. This. Did you get it from the Divine Prison? I really want to go and take a look. Of course, Jiangxing knew what the top stone was and immediately became extremely excited. Hi plus, Old Yellow, the two of you go and inquire about the whereabouts of the Ice Emperor. I will refine a divine weapon here, and you will have your share as well. Jiangxing laughed. I haven't gotten rid of Hel Devil Emperor's tracing mantra yet, so I'll be leaving first. When Ice Emperor returns to Holy Ice Nation, inform me. Chen Xiang opened a spatial tunnel and arrived outside the 100 Flowers Holy Nations. Then, he used the transmission array here to teleport to the Divine Feather Holy Nations. Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu were both at the Divine Feather Holy Nations. They had separated for a long time and missed Chen Xiang very much. They had originally planned to go to the Hundreds of Flowers Palace immediately after leaving, but Feng Yujie told them to return to the Divine Feather School first. This way they would be safer. Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu were both at the Divine Feather Holy Nations. They had separated for a long time and missed Chen Xiang very much. They had originally planned to go to the Hundreds of Flowers Palace immediately after leaving, but Feng Yujie told them to return to the Divine Feather School first. This way they would be safer. It was because 5,000 years after Chen Xiang had disappeared, he had returned once again. Furthermore, the Hel Devil Emperor had also received news that the bounty order was still valid. However, they also knew that it would be hard to kill Chen Xiang after 5,000 years, so they did not immediately seek him out. There were many strong warriors who were killed by Chen Xiang back then, including the strong of Lord Stage. If Chen Xiang could kill them 5,000 years ago, there was no need to even mention 5,000 years later. Chen Xiang came to the Divine Feather Holy Nations and rushed straight to the Imperial Palace. Thinking that he had to face such a mysterious and powerful woman like Feng Yujie again, Chen Xiang suddenly felt a huge pressure in his heart. Especially since Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu had always been following her, he was worried that they would be affected by Feng Yujie. Other than Bai Yuyu and his wife, Hong Xia and Ji Linger were also present. Originally, Chen Xiang had wanted to make Hong Xia and Ji Linger learn alchemy from him, but who knew that they would become his disciples later on? Chen Xiang felt that they would most likely follow him in the future. When Chen Xiang came here, he directly reported his name, but he did not change his appearance, because he felt that Feng Yujie was very strong and was not afraid of trouble. Very quickly, Chen Xiang was invited into the dazzling palace. He arrived at a garden and found Feng Yujie sitting on a stone chair in the pavilion, pouring some tea. Chen Xiang walked over quickly, sat on his butt, and directly sat in front of Feng Yujie. Then, he fearlessly looked at Feng Yujie's ordinary appearance. "Where's Sister Meiyao and elder sister Yuyu?" Chen Xiang looked around, but did not see the two girls, and asked anxiously. 5,000 years? Do you not miss me? Feng Yujie laughed and gave Chen Xiang a cup of fragrant tea. "I am their Ji. Oh, mother, if you want to see my daughter, of course I have to check." Chen Xiang drank the cup of tea in one gulp, curled his lips and said, "You are their Ji. Oh, mother, how can I miss you? I say, Aunt Feng, let them come out and see me." "That won't do. I want to see how much you've improved in the past 5,000 years." Feng Yujie played with the ends of her hair, a pair of lively eyes flickering with a mischievous gaze. Chen Xiang was very gloomy. Every time he met someone he knew, he would have to explain that it had only been a year or two, and he himself did not know where the 5,000 years had gone to. "I only spent a year or two in that place. I've already explained it to a lot of people." Chen Xiang explained everything that had happened to him in the divine prison with the fastest speed of speech. "Thus, you don't have to test me anymore. Quickly, let me see them. Otherwise, I'll look for them myself." The beauty that he had not seen for many years was here, and she was one of the two women that were most important to him. Chen Xiang was extremely anxious at this moment. Feng Yujie, on the other hand, was not in a hurry at all. He continued to whet Chen Xiang's appetite. 1. Tian laughed. "Meiyao is already one of your people, what are you in a hurry for? Once you've arrived, you don't need to ask me about my matters. You always need to find them urgently, so I'll be very sad and very disappointed." "This. Aunt Feng, you are their Ji. Oh, mother, I can't get too close to you. This is not good." Chen Xiang said in a low voice. "Stop messing around, all right?" The first time Chen Xiang had met this Feng Yujie, she was this mischievous. "Why? I am just their Ji. Oh, mother, and I am not related by blood. So what if we're closer?" Besides, you have so many women by your side, and none of them are jealous. Feng Yujie continued to incite Chen Xiang, causing him to wish that he could strip her of her clothes and punish her severely, letting her know how anxious he was right now. Do you think I'm too old? Feng Yujie saw that Chen Xiang did not speak and continued to laugh. Of course she did not know that she had been stripped naked in Chen Xiang's mind. That's right. You're too old, and I'm not interested in you. Of course, since you're interested in me, I will take care of it and satisfy the emptiness in your heart, Chen Xiang slowly said. He could already tell that Feng Yujie was doing this on purpose. The more Feng Yujie wanted to play tricks on him, the more he couldn't let him succeed. Aunt Feng, you have never slept with a man before. Chen Xiang calmed down and started retaliating. That's right. Feng Yujie smiled slightly and said, What, you're beginning to be interested in me? Of course not, I have so many women by my side, no matter what, I will not be interested in you. Chen Xiang laughed. When Feng Yujie saw that Chen Xiang had started to talk nonsense with her, he originally wanted to tease her a little. Mei Yao and you are both very powerful now. With my help, they have already condensed their divine deity and cultivated Emperor Soul S. The bones in their bodies are also crystal bones. I treat them like my own daughters, and they plan to follow you in the future. I've painstakingly nurtured these two beautiful daughters of mine, and I feel very sad to follow you like this. Feng Yujie purposely pouted, his face filled with resentment. Why don't you follow me as well? In that case, you can stay with them. My dark dragon ring is very large, so even if there are 10 more of you, you won't be a problem. Chen Xiang chuckled, but in his heart, he was actually very grateful to Feng Yujie. Not only did he help Su Mei Yao and her to treat the injuries she had suffered for so many years, he had also helped to make them so powerful. I'm talking business with you right now. Feng Yujie scoffed, You're not allowed to talk nonsense. I was talking business with you too. Seeing you alone, I was suddenly interested in you. Chen Xiang purposely revealed a sinister smile. Feng Yujie clenched her jade teeth and silently cursed Chen Xiang. She was really discussing serious matters with Chen Xiang right now, but who knew that Chen Xiang would actually take the initiative and tease her? Aren't you afraid that I'll beat you up? How powerful I have become in the past 5,000 years, you can't imagine. Yet you have lost 5,000 years of your lifespan. If I want to take you down, it will be as easy as flipping my hand. Feng Yujie suddenly became serious. That's right, but you are still a loser under my hand. Back then when we competed to refine pills, you did indeed lose to me. Chen Xiang laughed. How about we compete again and play something bigger this time? Great. Although I, Feng Yujie, do not focus on refining pills, I can still beat you, brat. Last time, it was only because I was too careless and did not understand you, and because I was a pill saint, I deliberately did not use my highest level, so do not think that I really lost to you. Feng Yujie was also a very strong woman, and when she heard Chen Xiang mention the matter of her last cruise, HI+ing defeat, it was even more true. Back then, you could only concoct immortal pills, and you even lost 5,000 years there. I was already a pill saint, and during the past 5,000 years, even if I didn't really progress in the Tao of alchemy, my progress was enormous. Even though Feng Yujie had said that, in the past 5,000 years, she had worked hard on refining pills, it was only because she lost to Chen Xiang that she had to win it back. So you have a lot of confidence? Chen Xiang said while beaming. Since that's the case, let's play a little. If you are familiar with my affairs, you should know that I have 2 female slaves by my side. I know, one of them is called Hua Xiangyue. She had come here before and learned some alchemy from me. And there's also Wu Qianshan, she's also a good sapling, she seems to have been harmed by you, you little bastard. Feng Yujie said, Why are you bringing up your female slaves? Since we're competing, then we have to be heroic and heroic. There's no need to gamble our lives, we don't even like gambling on holy stones, so it's more fun for me to gamble on them. If you lose, then you are mine. If I lose, I'll be yours. Chen Xiang laughed. Do you dare to come? This is not fair. What do I want you to do? However, your words are extremely useful. It's not that I don't dare, it's just that the conditions are not equal. Feng Yujie snorted. She didn't think that this little B.A.S.T.A.R. D. Chen Xiang would actually want to take her as a female slave. She felt that she had still underestimated Chen Xiang's gut. Chen Xiang said, Then forget it, it's not fun at all. Anyway, you've already lost to me. Alright, quickly let me see Sister Mei Yao and Sister Yu Yu. No, I have to compete again. Feng Yujie said resolutely, We can discuss the aspect of the wager. Chen Xiang said very casually, My request is not big, I only want you to. If that doesn't work, you can stay in the same secret room as me and then, within 2 hours, no matter what I do to you, you can't resist at all. As he finished speaking, Chen Xiang smiled evilly. Little scoundrel! Feng Yujie gritted his teeth and snorted. I am Mei Yao and the Quiet Mother, aren't you afraid that they will find out? Chen Xiang laughed. Didn't you say it earlier? You aren't related to them by blood, so it's fine even if you get closer. Forget it, I have plenty of time anyway. It's impossible for Sister Mei Yao and Sister Yu Yu to be stared at to death by you for your entire life. I will have a chance to meet them one day. After I return, I have a lot of things to do, so I'll be leaving first. After Chen Xiang stood up, he anxiously shouted out, What are you anxious about? It's not like I said no. Alright, let's talk about the wager now. I can agree to your dirty conditions. Chen Xiang interrupted her and laughed. What condition do you have to agree to my request? That's right. After you win, I'll give you 2 hours of time. It doesn't matter what you do to me. Feng Yujie lightly bit her lips, stared at Chen Xiang, and said, This isn't a joke, is it? Chen Xiang was a little surprised. I'm serious. However, this matter cannot be known to Mei Yao and Yu, because once they find out, they will definitely stop your vulgar actions. Feng Yujie said with a serious face. It looked like he was not joking, but if you lose to me, then you will have to be my servant for 100,000 years. After losing, she would become a slave for 100,000 years. Chen Xiang carefully thought about it. Feng Yujie was not joking around right now. After losing, she would become a slave for 100,000 years. Chen Xiang carefully thought about it. Feng Yujie was not joking around right now. Of course, Chen Xiang was also very confident in himself. It was just that Feng Yujie had already agreed to his shameful conditions. It could be seen that Feng Yujie definitely had some tricks up her sleeve. What is it? I've already agreed to it. Why are you dawdling? It can't be that you're scared. Feng Yujie laughed in disdain, and stuck out her tongue proudly. Well, it's a bit unfair that you put forward such conditions. Although Chen Xiang was confident in himself, he had to prepare for the worst. What if he lost? What do you think? If I lose, then I will be your servant for 10,000 years. That should be fine, right? I am, after all, someone who has been offered 4 divine deities by the H.E.L. Devil Emperor, and you don't know this yet, but in order to capture me in the divine prison, I suffered an even greater loss. What Chen Xiang said was true. The 2 war gods sent by the H.E.L. Devil Emperor had already spent around this amount. Against Chen Xiang's expectations, Feng Yujie actually agreed very straightforwardly. Alright, in order to prevent you from being shameless, we need to get a contract or something like that. It can't be better. Chen Xiang chuckled. If you lose, I can do whatever I want with you, you promised me. Also, I can't let Sister Mei Yao and Sister Yu know about this, otherwise, I won't do it. When Feng Yujie saw that Chen Xiang had hardened his heart to do such dirty things to her, he cursed in his heart and spat lightly. You don't have to be too proud, you'll soon be my servant. Of course I have to be proud because I will soon. Cough, cough. Chen Xiang said with an evil smile. After signing the contract, both Chen Xiang and Feng Yujie sinisterly laughed a few times, because they believed that the other party would definitely lose. I really want to know, little devil, don't talk about losing 5,000 years, you aren't too strong yourself. Even if you have a heavenly alchemy and a pretty good perception, you are too arrogant. I am a pill saint for hundreds of thousands of years, and I can refine high-quality pills now. Feng Yujie looked down on Chen Xiang. At this moment, she was truly looking down on him. You should know that I can refine Shangpin Holy Dan now. Even if you are able to concoct a low-grade saint pill, you and I are on two completely different levels. Feng Yujie was filled with confidence, as if she had already won. We already said before when we signed the contract that we would choose a pill that both parties could forge during the compet. 1 Tian. Therefore, even if you could refine a divine pill, it wouldn't be your advantage. You know how to concoct mid-grade saint pills, but I can't even concoct a tier 7 or 8 immortal pill, so I might as well defeat you. Chen Xiang laughed faintly and struck back. Tell me while touching your chest. Did you really lose to me at that time? Feng Yujie admitted in her heart that even if she had used all her strength, she would have still lost to Chen Xiang. But now, she was different. Although she was very confident in her heart, she would not underestimate Chen Xiang. For Chen Xiang to dare to bet with her, it showed that he had his own trump card. All right, in order to make you convinced of your defeat, you can decide on the pill you want to refine. 2 out of 3. Feng Yujie said. A round to determine the victor, and luck is also a factor. In order to display your strength, I have to compete a few more times. Chen Xiang nodded. I agree with you. Let's refine a Tianshan Dan of the 9th level of the immortal realm first. No problem, I will pay for the ingredients. I have one here. Was still rather surprised in his heart. Tianshan Dan were extremely difficult to refine, but Chen Xiang had actually chosen this from the beginning, and refining Tianshan Dan would have been very difficult, to the point where he would have to split the burden between them. Other alchemists wouldn't normally choose this, and Chen Xiang had only stayed in the divine prison for a few years, yet he was able to refine this Tianshan Dan. However, Feng Yujie was very confident in herself refining the Tianshan Dan, because she had often refined Tianshan Dan before to raise her level. When he refined the Tianshan Dan, he could produce 12 pellets at the highest. He felt that no matter how strong this Feng Yujie was, it would at most be a few pellets, which would definitely not be able to surpass him. Seeing the confident and beautiful smile on Feng Yujie's face, Chen Xiang laughed to himself. Don't be too happy yet, I will use the most ruthless method to defeat you later. Feng Yujie said, Don't tell me we do not need a judge? After all, during the process of refining pills, there will inevitably be some special circumstances which will need to be evaluated by the judge. Which referee should I choose? Chen Xiang asked. I don't have a good candidate. Lu Fuxing, by Guang Yao, LV Zhen, Grandma LV, LV Qilian. You don't have any objections, do you? I can call them now. Feng Yujie said. These people were all acquaintances of Chen Xiang, so he naturally did not have any objections. Although their relations, HI+P was not bad with him, but at that time, these 5 people would definitely be very fair. Alright, then you can wait. I'll give you another hour to prepare so that you won't have to come up with all sorts of excuses when you lose. Feng Yujie placed great importance on this compet. 1. Tian, she stood up and left the garden, looking for the judge she was talking about. Not long after she left, Chen Xiang saw 2 beautiful figures appear in the distance. Upon closer inspection, it was actually Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu. And behind them, there were also 3 equally beautiful women, namely Bai Ziqian, Hong Xia and Ji Ling. Seeing Chen Xiang, these girls were also very excited, especially Su Meiyao, who had confirmed their relations. Hi+P with him, who flew over from afar and landed in his arms. Little scoundrel, I missed you so much. Su Meiyao hugged Su Meiyao tightly and looked at him with alluring eyes. She extended her jade hands to caress Qin Xiang's handsome and determined face. I miss you too. Qin Xiang kissed Su Meiyao's face, then giggled while looking at the other women. I miss you guys too. Sister Yu, Sister Ziqian. You all wear the same clothes and standing together is so beautiful. Bai Yu and Bai Ziqian were both dressed in the same light white cheongsam. The two girls both had ice-cold yet incomparably beautiful faces and the same cold and proud temperament. However, they both gave Qin Xiang a beautiful short-lived smile. It's been 5,000 years and you, little scoundrel, still haven't changed. Your eyes are still so dishonest. Bai Yu chuckled. Where's Shui? I'm here. I don't want to go out right now. The reason why she didn't want to go out was because she was worried about Bai Yaowei, LV Zhen and the other rankers. This was because she currently had too many people behind her. This was the imperial palace of the divine feather holy nations, so Qin Xiang didn't dare to stay here too casually. Qin Xiang and the few girls sat in the pavilion, narrating what happened to him once more. Hearing Qin Xiang's words, the girls were all very surprised. When they heard Qin Xiang say that he would compete with Feng Yujie in pill refining, these few women were even more surprised. You should be mentally prepared to lose if you compete with your mother in pill refinement. Su Meiyao said. All these years I have been learning alchemy with her. I am now a pill saint. I can concoct low-grade saint pills. Of course, the refining technique that I am using is your G.O.D purification. Mother made many improvements in the G.O.D purification, so she has improved a lot. You won't blame me, will you? said the G.O.D purification to her. Su Meiyao was a little worried that Qin Xiang would blame her. Of course I won't blame you. Since she used my G.O.D purification, then this means that she received inspiration from me. Only then will she be convinced after losing. Qin Xiang laughed. He did not feel like it at all. He was happy that Feng Yujie was able to use his pill refining skills, because he could use this method to provoke Feng Yujie's prideful heart anytime in the future. It looks like you've won. Mother is now capable of refining Shangpin Holy Dan. Although her main cultivation path is not to refine pills, to have such high attainments is not something that can be easily defeated. The one who spoke was Bai Ziqian. What is it? Sister Ziqian, you also became that woman's daughter? Qin Xiang looked at Red Dawn and Ji Linger who were at the side. I think you two are the 5 sisters now, right? Su Meiyao laughed and pinched the flesh on Qin Xiang's arm. Have you started to let your thoughts run wild? Where is it? Qin Xiang anxiously pulled away from Su Meiyao's delicate hand that was filled with power. Feng Yujie was a powerful pill saint, although Su Meiyao and the others were her adopted daughters, but to them she was like their biological daughters, giving them the best resources, training them. Qin Xiang, you must be thinking about something evil. Ji Linger giggled and said, over these years, Hong Xia and I have gained a new understanding of you. Humph! Bai Ziqian coldly snorted. The few of them had been together for more than 1,000 years, and Su Meiyao had already told them about those perverted matters he had several times. You guys aren't kind, you're discrediting me everywhere. Qin Xiang had a wronged expression on his face. I really didn't think that way. I've always been very honest. Long Shui originally wanted to speak up for him, but when she thought about how Feng Yujie would give him whatever 2 hours he wanted her to do if he lost, she still felt that it was better to let it go. Being stared at by the few girls with such looks of contempt made Qin Xiang feel weak in his heart, but he thought to himself, wait till I take care of your G.O.D mother, I'll see how you guys can continue being C.O.C.K.Y then. Oh yeah, have you guys fought against the Mei Emperor before? Chen Xiang quickly changed the topic, and it was a success. Yes. They had beaten her twice, but they had not been able to kill her each time. She had many experts protecting her, especially the Emperor of the 10 great holy nations. As long as she spoke, he would never refuse her request. I heard she's still in Chaos Realm. Xiang Yu and Qianqian are also in Chaos Realm. Will they be alright? Chen Xiang had heard Lv Qilian say before that Hua Xiangyue and Wu Qianqian were searching for precious holy medicine in the Chaos Realm. Don't be too worried, Xiangyu and Qianqian have obtained the inheritance of the Dan Emperor, it's definitely not ordinary. Su Meiyao said, they are also often with us, discussing the art of refining pills. Chen Xiang remembered that someone once said that after Wu Qianqian and Su Meiyao found out about the whereabouts of the Dan Emperor, they went to look for the Dan Emperor. Chen Xiang remembered that someone once said that after Wu Qianqian and Su Meiyao found out about the whereabouts of the Dan Emperor, they went to look for the Dan Emperor. Long Shui felt even more uncomfortable now, because Wu Qianqian and Hua Xiangyue had also made great progress. This made her even more determined that she would eat and sleep more in the future, and become stronger. When Qianqian was poisoned by the Ice Emperor, I will definitely avenge her. When Chen Xiang brought up this matter, he was still very angry in his heart. Ice Emperor of the Holy Ice Nation are not easy to deal with. Their 10 great holy nations was one Tai, and there were even many strong warriors who had infiltrated the H.E.L. Devil Emperor in the dark. Aside from that, there is also another huge threat, and that is the mighty Night Devil S in the Night Devil H.E.L. They are also now quite a strong force. Su Meiyao said. Chen Xiang almost forgot about Night Devil H.E.L. Then how is Devil Killing Summit now? Have you found your young master? Chen Xiang asked. The Devil Killing Summit has already been destroyed. The GODS inside the Devil Killing Summit originally could not withstand the pressure from the GODS realm and all retreated. As a result, the Devil Killing Summit was annihilated after a few waves of attacks. Su Meiyao sighed helplessly. Looks like this 9 heaven world is a place that GODS realm left alone in. Moreover, this GODS realm hopes that this place will be a mess all day, which is why this H.E.L. Devil Emperor is here doing whatever he wants. So many years had Pa said, and the things that happened in the GODS realm were no longer secrets. As long as one was an expert of the 9 heaven world, he or she would more or less know a little. What about you? Dragon Subduing School has been dissolved, and the dragon veins have been occupied. Bai Yu asked. Of course not. Sooner or later, I will take back what belongs to me. Chen Xiang said firmly. We'll go together then. Su Meiyao sat by Chen Xiang's side, hugging Chen Xiang's arm, like a docile little kitten sticking to Chen Xiang, especially when he felt her soft chest rubbing against him. It made Chen Xiang feel that he couldn't take it anymore. We're going too. Bai Ziqian looked at Red Cloud and Ji Linger. I have long hated that 10 great holy nations, Bai Yu said. In her eyes, Chen Xiang's matter was her own. Chen Xiang shook his head. None of you are to go, and obediently stay here to help me increase my strength, although I lost 5,000 years of time. But I feel that it won't be long before I enter the GODS realm, so when the time comes, you all can enter the ring with me, but what I hope for is that with your true strength, you all will be able to pass south through the road to the GODS realm. The Azure Dragon and Chen Xiang had said before that the road to enter the GODS realm was very important. If one did not enter the GODS realm through that method, it would be a huge loss. Mother also told us that whether we can get along well after entering the GODS realm depends on what we can get from that road. Ji Linger said, I thought you were a lot behind us. I didn't expect you to say that you want to go to God's realms so early in the morning. Feng Yujie's understanding of the God's realm made Chen Xiang even more suspicious. He suddenly felt that Feng Yujie was someone from the God's realm. Before an hour had passed, Feng Yujie had returned with a few people chatting happily behind her. Other than LV Zhen, Bai Yao, Grandma LV, and LV Qilian, there were also two other unfamiliar faces. Chen Xiang remembered that the aura of that handsome big man was from the floating city lord, Lu Fuxing. Back then, when Chen Xiang was surrounded by Thunder Emperor and other experts, it was Lu Fuxing who helped him break that barrier and gave him the chance to escape. Floating City Lord, I did not have the time to thank you for saving me all those years ago, but now I am here to make up for it. Chen Xiang immediately cupped his hands and laughed, and said some words of thanks. He is the great floating emperor. Feng Yujie chuckled, and then introduced another person Chen Xiang did not know. It was a graceful and elegant beautiful woman wearing a purple dress. She was very compatible with Lu Fuxing. Chen Xiang could already tell that this beautiful woman should be Lu Fuxing's partner. This is Great Emperor Ruomeng, the master of holy nations Ruomeng, and also the floating wife. Feng Yujie introduced the beautiful woman, which surprised Chen Xiang greatly. This great Emperor Ruomeng was very powerful. It gave others a feeling that they couldn't see through her. Bai Yao was the ruthless devil venerable back then. He was Bai Yuyu and Bai Ziqian's father, Su Meiyao's master. He also knew a bit about Chen Xiang and his daughter, and now he said with a smile, I also spent some time with a pill master. Although I cannot refine pills, I can still be used as a evaluation. Chen Xiang, we already heard about you from the Divine Feather Emperor on the way here. You lost for so many years, and he still dared to challenge her. This really surprises us. LV Zhen laughed. LV Qilian did not say anything. The feeling she gave others was that they were not very close, but the truth was that her relations, Hi+P with Chen Xiang, had already progressed to a point where even Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu did not know about it. I really hope that you can refine some powerful poison. Let's see who can poison an old woman like me to death. Although she had a head full of white hair, she was very young and did not look like an old lady at all. Grandma LV, if I poison you to death, a few people here will immediately come and fight me. Chen Xiang laughed. Mom, stop messing around. LV Qilian was really worried that Chen Xiang would poison Grandma LV to death. Lu Fuxing laughed. This little brother dares to challenge the Divine Feather Emperor. He should be very confident. I wonder if the two of you made any bets? No. Feng Yujie immediately said she did not want others to know that she actually agreed to Chen Xiang's shameful conditions. Su Meiyao asked, What pills are all of you competing? 3 rounds and 2 victories. The first is the Tianshan Dan, and the second is also his. Feng Yujie looked at Chen Xiang and asked, What pill do you want to compete in the second round? Let me feel REA. Assured. Dragon Blood Saint Dan. I have the ingredients. Chen Xiang chuckled. As for the third round, it shouldn't be necessary anymore. Feng Yujie also chuckled. It's indeed unnecessary. I can defeat you in 2 rounds. Although Feng Yujie had a smile on her face, her heart secretly jumped. Chen Xiang was actually able to refine holy pellets. If Chen Xiang had lived for 5,000 years, that would be normal, but Chen Xiang had only stayed in the divine prison for a short period of time. Don't say it so early. I will make you lose to shame in the first round. My beautiful Divine Feather Emperor, haha. Chen Xiang suddenly laughed out loud, causing everyone to frown. The clash between Feng Yujie and Chen Xiang just now made people feel that they had an irreconcilable feud. One cauldron isn't enough to compete in, but many batches to compete in. This is up to you. I heard that he's also very good at controlling multiple pill furnaces at the same time. Feng Yujie suddenly said as he saw Chen Xiang taking out the Yanlong furnace. 10 batches, how about it? Chen Xiang said directly without even thinking. Right after he finished speaking, Feng Yujie gently waved his sleeve, and like smoke, 10 purple 9-legged pill furnaces appeared in front of her. Each of them was as tall as a person and extremely large. 10 batches of purple skies. This is one of the famous pill furnaces in the Gods realm. It is said that all the ingredients are made from a purple sky that has collapsed. LV Zhen took a deep breath. This is a top-grade divine furnace. In order to defeat Chen Xiang, Feng Yujie no longer hid his strength, and wanted to reveal his true strength. Feng Yujie concocted 10 batches of pills at the same time, which was also inspired by Chen Xiang previously. Su Meiyao had told her many things about Chen Xiang's concocting of pills, and Feng Yujie was really impressed by his pill refining skills. Feng Yujie concocted 10 batches of pills at the same time, which was also inspired by Chen Xiang previously. Su Meiyao had told her many things about Chen Xiang's concocting of pills, and Feng Yujie was really impressed by his pill refining skills. However, Feng Yujie had not released the magic method furnace like Chen Xiang did. In her opinion, it was not safe, and it also consumed a lot of spirit energy. It was better to use a good pill furnace to concoct the pill, so she did not need to worry about the instability of the magic method furnace. It would allow her to control multiple pill furnaces more easily. Chen Xiang had never tried to refine 10 batches of Tianshandan before, but he felt that it wouldn't be difficult. My Yanlong furnace is only a sacred device, and your 10 pill furnaces are divine furnaces. Even if you win against me, that is not something to be proud of. However, once you lose, Chen Xiang felt that the more Feng Yujie displayed his true strength, the more he would feel a sense of accomplishment when defeating her. When we competed previously, we didn't talk about the limitations of the pill furnaces. If you need me to change to a more ordinary pill furnace, that's fine too. Feng Yujie took out 20 Tianhun fruits and told Su Meiyao to send 10 to Chen Xiang. I didn't pay too much attention to the pill furnace when I was refining pills, so of course I wouldn't restrict you. If you still lose to me in this way, then I'll be even more happy. Chen Xiang checked the Tianhun fruit. He was worried that Feng Yujie would do something to them. Feng Yujie originally thought that his 10 purple deity furnace would be able to scare Chen Xiang, but who would have thought that Chen Xiang was actually so calm? Now we have to refine 10 batches of 9th stage, Immortal Tianshandan, at the same time, and we also have to refine 10 batches of Dragon Blood Saint Dan in the second round, right? She was a woman, so she hoped that Feng Yujie could win. In her eyes, Feng Yujie was her senior. Not bad. Everyone, wait a bit and watch carefully. Don't let that brat cheat. Feng Yujie chuckled. Even I am starting to suspect if he used up all his divine power by refining 2 batches of Dragon Blood Saint Dan at the same time. Chen Xiang snorted. 9B, A-L. L. S of mist suddenly gushed out, translucent and hazy. They formed 9 pill furnaces that were half a man tall, arranged on both sides of the Yanlong furnace in a straight line. Everyone present who understood Chen Xiang knew that this was the pill furnace he created with his divine power. Feng Yujie placed the 10 bubbling Tianhun fruit S into her purple sky 10 furnace separately, and Chen Xiang didn't fall behind her. Using his divine power, he controlled the Tianhun fruit to enter the 9 transparent magic method furnace S and the Yanlong furnace S respectively. It had to be said that Chen Xiang's refining technique was extremely eye-catching. Even Feng Yujie had been carefully staring at Chen Xiang's 9 magic method furnace. She also wanted to see with her own eyes how Chen Xiang refined the Tianshandan. She wanted to see how it was different from her refining technique, or if she had learnt something from it. Feng Yujie had already started to release flames. Her flames were extremely strong, and even though they were inside the divine furnace, Chen Xiang could feel the terror of those flames from the weak heat they emitted, causing him to suspect Feng Yujie's ident. 1. Tai even more. From Chen Xiang's point of view, Feng Yujie should have long been a ranker who entered the G.O.D.S. realm, but she had not left this place all these years. Chen Xiang released flames. His flames did not have a trace of warmth, looking very ordinary. They surrounded the Tianhun fruit. Tai Chi Divine Arts. Chen Xiang released a small Taiji array from the bottom of the Tianhun fruit from the very beginning, producing a suction force that prevented the Tianhun fruit from releasing its special powers. Seeing that he had revealed this move, Feng Yujie frowned slightly and looked more carefully, her heart also becoming heavier. Of course, she could see that the terrifying divine power inside the Tianhun fruit had already been contained and did not leak out any further after the appearance of the Taiji array. This way, Chen Xiang could refine all of the divine power within the Tianhun fruit into an immortal pill. When ordinary alchemists refining Tianshan, they would always let the Tianhun fruit lose 90% of its medicinal power, and in the end, could only use 10% of its difficulty to condense it into a pill, but its effects were still much stronger than eating the Tianhun fruit alive. Even if it was Feng Yujie, it would still be hard to prevent this kind of thing from happening. She had only done a better job than the other alchemist, as she could minimize the loss of medicinal power. What kind of flame is that? Could it be that it wasn't sacred fire? Logically speaking, Chen Xiang should already be able to use the rainbow sacred flame. Isn't his G.O.D. purification mainly focused on powerful flames? She and Ji Linger both possessed the kind of mystical Holy Spirit fire and were on the path of pill refining. Su Meiyao had said Chen Xiang's G.O.D. purification to them. They were only at the initial stage of mastery, but now Chen Xiang was not using the G.O.D. purification that they were familiar with. I'm not sure either. His flames are very strange. Su Meiyao frowned slightly as she looked at Chen Xiang's pill furnace seriously. What kind of flame is this? LV Zhen also felt that it was very strange, because that type of flame did not have a unique flame characteristic. Lu Fuxing shook his head, he did not know. Creation flame. Just when everyone was feeling puzzled, Feng Yujie said in a low voice, "It is also called a Chuangzhao fire, a fire of chaos. In short, I have only seen him once, and the Chuangzhao fire he is using right now is extremely weak." This, Ji Linger said in surprise, "Can my Holy Spirit fire replicate this kind of flame?" The strength of Holy Spirit fire was that they could copy the special natures of other people's fire soul and flames. No. This is not just a simple flame. I don't know how he cultivated it either. In short, this type of flame is extremely mysterious and strange. This kind of flame was precisely released by Chen Xiang using his life force. The Azure Dragon had also mentioned it before. What good eyesight, you can actually recognize this kind of flame? Are you afraid? Chen Xiang laughed. So what? Your flame is so weak, yet you still have not started to refine the Tianhun fruit, while I have already refined 30%. Feng Yujie smiled slightly. If you rely on this kind of flame, then you still won't be able to defeat me. In Chen Xiang's pill furnace, there was only one Taiji array under every Tianhun fruit, and the Tianhun fruit was also wrapped by his, without any changes. Don't be happy too early. Chen Xiang snickered, only to see that the fiery red ball of light from the 9 magic method furnace was suddenly enveloped by a layer of white light. Alchemists who had refined Tianshan before knew that this was the pure medicinal power that leaked out of the Tianhun fruit when it was refined. The amount of white light outside the red ball of fire grew more and more, while Chen Xiang's ability to use it also grew stronger and stronger. The reason he was so slow was because it was his first time refining 10 batches of Tianshan, and he needed some time to get used to it. Now that he had gotten used to it, he could begin to use his supernatural power to quickly decompose and refine the Tianhun fruit. The light grew brighter and brighter, like 9 white suns, constantly emitting blinding white rays that were constantly rotating. The white brilliance was actually the divine energy within the Tianhun fruit. After being refined, it was like falling into a whirlpool, spinning around the upper level of the pill furnace and condensing into a pill there. Looking at the endless flow of medicinal power gust, Hi plus ing to the top of the furnace, Su Meiyao, who had refined Tianshan Dan before, knew very clearly that the amount of pills Chen Xiang produced would be extremely terrifying. Ji Linger exclaimed, "This little brat is too scary." In the past, Ji Linger and Red Cloud had specially helped Chen Xiang by selling a large number of high-grade pellet. Now they had finally seen with their own eyes how Chen Xiang had concocted high-grade pellets in bulk. Feng Yujie's face turned a little ugly. She no longer said anything, slightly gritted her teeth, and became a little nervous. She couldn't understand why Chen Xiang always had such a strange method of refining pills. However, she felt that she could still win, because she felt that the medicinal power she had refined from the Tianhun fruit would not be less than Chen Xiang's. But not long after, when Feng Yujie saw that Chen Xiang was still madly squeezing out the medicine from within the Tianhun fruit, she became even more nervous. This made her feel like she was about to lose, but she quickly calmed her restless heart. Infinite refining. Destroy them all. Chen Xiang was also a little nervous, but that was because he was too excited. Back then, when he was refining the Tianshan Dan, one furnace was enough to tire him to death. Now, when he was refining 10 batches at the same time, he was still full of energy. The infinite refining was a method to strengthen the foundation of Tai Chi at this moment. The Taiji array at the bottom of the 9 magic method furnace could be seen with the naked eye constantly emitting lines and lines of runes. The 9 Tianhun fruit inside the magic method furnace instantly exploded as a huge golden light shone out, enveloping a radius of several tens of kilometers. With the 9 magic method furnace as the center, an extremely thick light pillar appeared and shot high into the sky. Feng Yujie's residence was currently enveloped in a huge, semicircular golden light barrier. Elvision, Lu Fuxing, Bai Yaowei and the rest were all enveloped by the golden light, unable to see anything, but they were all using their powerful divine powers to feel the changes happening inside Chen Xiang's pill furnace. The shocking golden light gradually faded, causing everyone to be surprised. And at this time, Chen Xiang had formed the 9 magic method furnaces. They were condensing a white ball of air, as if they were being kneaded by snow, releasing a sparkling and translucent multicolored light. With just a glance, one could tell how many Tianshan Dan could be condensed. Seeing this scene, Feng Yujie almost could not continue, but she still held on to a glimmer of hope that Chen Xiang would fail at the last moment. Chen Xiang smiled as he looked at Feng Yujie. At this moment, Feng Yujie was completely naked in front of him. With a thought from Chen Xiang, the BAL S of Qi inside each pill furnace were split into 12 small BAL S, which then quickly converged and merged together, eventually forming into a bubble-like pellet. "I'm done refining." Chen Xiang took out a relatively large jade box. With a wave of his hand, the magic method furnace disappeared and all of the Tianshan Dan fell into the jade box. 10 batches, 12 pills per batch, a total of 120 pills. All of them were of high quality. All the experts in the refining process had witnessed the entire process without any cheating whatsoever. "Monster!" Elvision exclaimed. "If a sacred pill could be used to refine such a method, wouldn't it be overturning the heavens?" Feng Yujie knew that she had lost. No matter how hard she tried, she was unable to surpa.s. Chen Xiang. However, she did not give up on concocting the pill. She only exhaled lightly and continued to focus on concocting. Feng Yujie knew that she had lost. No matter how hard she tried, she was unable to surpa.s. Chen Xiang. However, she did not give up on concocting the pill. She only exhaled lightly and continued to focus on concocting. Chen Xiang also patiently waited for Feng Yujie to win this match. Originally, he could have mocked Feng Yujie, but he felt that something was wrong, because Feng Yujie had appeared very calm and collected, giving him a bad premonition. Sister Qilian, do you have more spirit liquid with you? Chen Xiang sent a sound transmission to LV Qilian, who was at the side. Menger and the others have followed me to the divine prison, and lost 5,000 years of time. I plan to refine a few more holy pellets so that they can hurry up and catch up. Not much, I will give all my spirit liquid to Xiang Yu and Mei Yao. It seems that I have to teach them the alive slain method from now on. LV Qilian asked. You can refine holy pellets now? Alright, I'll refine some for you from now on. We will take some time to refine some spiritual beads together and duplicate a large amount of divine medicine. At that time, I can refine a large amount of divine pellet. Chen Xiang chuckled. LV Qilian was unable to reject Chen Xiang, and could only silently agree. Seeing how amazing Chen Xiang had been concocting pills just now, she also hoped that Chen Xiang would be able to concoct a large amount of holy pellets for her in the future. After less than an hour, Feng Yujie had already succeeded in condensing her pellet. Her ability in refining 8 Tianshan Dan was already stronger than many of the alchemists, but she still lost to Chen Xiang. Seniors, please evaluate the outcome of this match. Chen Xiang stood up and laughed. You win this round. Feng Yujie immediately said, but her expression was extremely serious, causing the smile on Chen Xiang's face to disappear. Su Meiyao and the others were all surprised to see their own mother revealing such a serious expression. Usually, Feng Yujie was called a mischievous girl who spent her days laughing merrily. What they did not know was that Feng Yujie no longer had that much confidence in her victory. If she lost, she would be crippled by Chen Xiang for 2 hours. Rest for 2 hours before the second match. After Feng Yujie finished speaking, she walked into the house. The first time she lost to Chen Xiang, there was no one by her side, but now, with so many people watching, what made things worse was that after she lost. Chen Xiang, can't you just let her go? Su Meiyao sent a sound transmission to Chen Xiang. She did not know about the bet between Chen Xiang and him. If I give it to her, she'll be even more upset. Chen Xiang said, right now I am also testing my own strength. Lu Fuxing walked over and asked with a smile, Little brother, what is the highest level of holy pellet you can refine now? Low-grade Saint Pill. Chen Xiang replied, I can just concoct, and it might take a while for a mid-ranked holy pellet. Lu Fuxing wanted Chen Xiang to help him refine a holy pellet, but that was a mid-ranked holy pellet. If you can concoct a mid-grade Saint Pill, would you be able to help me? Lu Fuxing asked. Of course, it's fine. This is pretty good for me to learn how to forge a phone. Chen Xiang laughed. Welcome. The Grandma LV said. The next step is to refine Dragon Blood Saint Dan, right? This kind of pellet with a strong body is not easy to refine either, and it's even using the holy level dragon pellet, it would definitely take a lot of time. It will take a long time. Chen Xiang nodded. If it was just refining one furnace to Chen Xiang, it would only take 2 to 4 hours. After that, he would have to concoct 10 batches, which would definitely take a longer time. Chen Xiang talked for a relatively long time, but that was only for a few hours. In the eyes of the strong and Grandma LV and the others, it was just a few days, but for people like them who had lived for so many years, waiting for a few dozens of days was nothing. Do you have any gains in the Chaos Realm? Because I am truly sorry for coming back, for making all of you gather here. Chen Xiang said somewhat guiltily. It's fine. We will be back in a while anyway. The next time we enter, it should be soon. When that happens, you should come along as well. Elvesian laughed. The Chaos Realm is a little mysterious, but there are a lot of resources inside. Right now, we have yet to encounter any dangers inside, but that does not mean that there aren't any. Bai Yaowei said. Just as Chun Xiang was chatting with the rest, Su Meiyao suddenly shouted out, "Mother! This is..." Everyone was stunned immediately. Chun Xiang turned his head and saw an unfamiliar yet beautiful woman walk out from the house. Her face was covered by a thin pink veil, and she was wearing a light pink dress that revealed her enchanting collarbone, as well as her small brast. As Chun Xiang's heart skipped a beat. He knew that this unfamiliar woman was indeed Feng Yujie, but she was using her own appearance. Feng Yujie revealed her true face and wore that light pink long skirt, making the charm of her body even more oppressive. Chun Xiang looked at her pair of mysterious and charming eyes, and almost lost in thought. The slowly approaching Feng Yujie had smiles in her beautiful eyes as she strode forward with Na's graceful steps. Her entire body was filled with an uncontrollable charm. Even Elvision, by Yao Wei and Lu Fuxing, who had a certain level of resistance against this kind of power, had no choice but to silently circulate their powers to resist it. Su Meiyao and the other daughters were naturally all right. Feng Yujie had not fully revealed her features when she arrived in front of the Purple Sky 10 furnace. She gracefully sat on the ground and stared at Chun Xiang with her beautiful eyes that were briming with magic. The moment Feng Yujie came out, Chun Xiang's eyes went straight. He had seen Feng Yujie's portrait before, but that portrait was too powerful, causing him to instantly fall into a muddled state. He had been immersed in it for many days, and had even forgotten about its appearance. Seeing Feng Yujie's captivating eyes, Chun Xiang almost sunk into them. Luckily he reacted in a hurry and closed his eyes, but Feng Yujie's half-covered face and eyes that were filled with enchantment kept on appearing in his mind. This woman actually wants to use this invitation to interfere with me. This way, I won't be able to refine pills peacefully. What a good method! Chun Xiang cursed in his heart. Only after activating the demon subduing heart art was he able to erase the illusory image in his mind. Seeing that Chun Xiang was distracted and almost captivated by her, LV Qilian, Su Meiyao and the other girls were secretly gloating in their hearts. Chun Xiang said as he sent a sound transmission to Feng Yujie, "You are being shameless. Also, didn't you say that you would show me your true face when I take down the Mei Emperor? Didn't you want to see me back then? What's more, I haven't finished reading it yet. In the bet that we signed, there seems to be no one who doesn't allow me to use my true face." Feng Yujie responded with an extremely happy laugh. In order to not lose to Chun Xiang, Feng Yujie was already going all out. Feng Yujie's technique was very powerful. She had used her inherent strength to attract others' attention and disturbed Chun Xiang's mind. This way, Chun Xiang would definitely be affected while concocting pills, and if she was unable to use her strongest ability, she would be able to win against Chun Xiang. Feng Yujie's technique was very powerful. She had used her inherent strength to attract others' attention and disturbed Chun Xiang's mind. This way, Chun Xiang would definitely be affected while concocting pills, and if she was unable to use her strongest ability, she would be able to win against Chun Xiang. Did this because she was acting a little shamelessly, and in front of so many people at that. It seemed that in order to not be ravaged by Chun Xiang for even an hour, she did not even care about her reputation. Let's rest a bit longer and start refining the Dragon Blood Saint Dan. This time, we'll continue with another 10 batches. Feng Yujie chuckled, looking at Chun Xiang who had his eyes closed. His smile became even sweeter. Even if Chun Xiang did not open his eyes, he could still refine pills. In order to prevent Feng Yujie from using his charm to disrupt his state, he decided to refine pills with his eyes closed. As long as she did not read it, everything would be fine. Chun Xiang thought so. But who knew that after he closed his eyes and meditated for a while, Feng Yujie's half-covered face, as well as her beautiful body that was dressed in a light pink dress, were still unforgettable in his mind. He had already used the demon subduing heart art, but the effects were not too obvious. How could this be? Chen Xiang was a little anxious. If this continued, he would definitely not be able to focus on concocting pills. Your demon-suppressing heart mantra is used to deal with Mei Emperor, but Feng Yujie is different from Mei Emperor. She seems to be much more powerful. Right now, she is using her charm to attack you. However, this attack is very strange and cannot be discovered by others, even you are unable to detect it. Long Shui said. Chen Xiang's beautiful and alluring body always appeared in Chen Xiang's mind. She was dressed even less, half of her breasts were exposed, her face revealed a mesmerizing shallow smile, her entire body was filled with seductive charm, and even worse, she was currently performing a kind of seductive dance. When she changed her posture, she would always reveal a bit of a spring light, which made Chen Xiang unable to stop. Chen Xiang had already closed his eyes at this time, but the captivating images kept flashing past his mind. Gradually, he heard Feng Yujie's coquettish smile, and from time to time, she would even let out a soft moan that captivated him. At this time, in everyone's eyes, Chen Xiang seemed to be enduring a huge amount of pain. His head was covered in perspiration. "And Feng, you are plussing yourself into a pit of fire. Originally, I wasn't very interested in you, but now..." Chen Xiang sent a sound transmission to Feng Yujie. He hoped that Feng Yujie would stop, otherwise he would not be able to refine those 10 batches of dragon blood Saint Dan. Feng Yujie did not reply, she just sat there cross-legged and stared blankly at Chen Xiang. She was rather surprised at Chen Xiang's calmness. She had already attacked for such a long time, yet Chen Xiang was still able to endure. Seeing that it was about time, Feng Yujie immediately retracted his hand. "You can start now." Feng Yujie smiled sweetly. Her eyes were extremely enchanting as they flickered with Xia Bo, as if she was smiling. Chen Xiang let out a long exhale. Feng Yujie's suicidal flirtatious dance finally stopped, and gradually disappeared from his mind. The blood ginseng was also out of Feng Yujie's possession. She seemed to have the ability to copy holy levels medicinal herbs, but after Chen Xiang received the blood ginseng, he realized that the quality of the blood ginseng was not good, so he thought that Feng Yujie's copy of the blood ginseng spirit liquid was not as good as his. This might be copied by Sister Mei Yao. Chen Xiang carefully examined the 10 blood ginseng, then released the 9. Just as he was about to begin, Feng Yujie suddenly threw a Mei Yao towards him, causing his entire body to tremble. "Is this woman planning to disturb me while I'm refining pills?" Chen Xiang's heart thumped. If that was the case, then the next test would be extremely harsh, and he might fail halfway. Chen Xiang comforted himself in his heart. As long as he could endure through this ordeal, defeating Feng Yujie would be the time for him to take revenge. This woman clearly only used her powerful charm power on me, so no one else was affected. Chen Xiang did not start. Instead, he frowned and looked at Feng Yujie, both her beautiful and enchanting eyes, and her delicate body which was covered by a pink long dress. It was as if he wanted to carefully observe every inch of her body. It was not the first time Chen Xiang looked at her in such an unbridled manner. At this moment, she was still trying to please Chen Xiang, and would blink her eyes and smile charmingly at him from time to time. Is there any way to deal with this woman? Long Shui also knew the reason why Chen Xiang had yet to begin. If Chen Xiang did not have a way to deal with Feng Yujie's enticing power, he would most likely lose in the beginning. Chen Xiang said, "I am currently looking for a method from the heavenly alchemy. There is definitely a method in the heavenly alchemy, but I need to understand it myself, and that will take me some time." In order to successfully refine pills, Chen Xiang had to first find a method to cultivate and stabilize his mind through the heavenly alchemy. Refining a dragon blood Saint Dan would require a bit of time, and it was the same even for Feng Yujie. But in Chen Xiang's eyes, it was something that could be refined very quickly, so he was still calmly searching for a method to counter Feng Yujie within the heavenly alchemy. Aren't you going to start? It's been an hour. Feng Yujie frowned slightly and asked softly. Chen Xiang really wanted to scold her for a bit. He still hadn't started it yet because he was worried that Feng Yujie would use that kind of enticing power on him midway. Everyone frowned because Chen Xiang was using perverted eyes to stare at Feng Yujie, as though he had fallen into Feng Yujie's seductive trap. But everyone understood that if Chen Xiang had started, at the critical moment, when Feng Yujie had launched that formless charm attack, something would have definitely happened to him. It's more important to look at beauties. If you can take off the gauze covering your face, it would be even better. Chen Xiang smiled faintly, although he looked like a miscreant on the outside, but he was rapidly analyzing the heavenly alchemy in his mind, searching for what he needed from the profound chant. Are you trying to deal with me? I am not a Mei Emperor, I am not that easy to deal with. Feng Yujie laughed tenderly. You can only blame yourself for being too weak. Look, everyone here is fine, you were the only one who almost lost to it. Chen Xiang cursed in his heart. The other people were fine, it was because she did not concentrate her attacks on others but had instead used all her strength on him. It had been 2 hours and Chen Xiang still hadn't started. Feng Yujie's progress, on the other hand, was extremely smooth, because she was currently in a very good mood and was displaying it very well. Got it! Chen Xiang finally found a way out of the heavenly alchemy. I wonder if this soul lock technique will work. I can only try it out now. Chen Xiang immediately understood the incantation he had found and then began to circulate it silently. Chen Xiang suddenly closed his eyes, but he was not refining pills, which caught his attention, as Chen Xiang had been staring at her the whole time, but now he was staring at her instead, as if he was training. Refining dragon blood Saint Dan was also something that Chen Xiang was an expert at. If it wasn't for the fact that Feng Yujie would secretly trick him, he had a 100% assurance that he could defeat Feng Yujie. Refining dragon blood Saint Dan was also something that Chen Xiang was an expert at. If it wasn't for the fact that Feng Yujie would secretly trick him, he had a 100% assurance that he could defeat Feng Yujie. As long as he could resist Feng Yujie's enticing power, he would be able to defeat her quickly. The Solok art can stabilize one's mind and prevent one's mind from being affected by external forces. Beneath Chen Xiang's soul in the Divine Sense Sea, a set of Taiji arrays suddenly appeared. This is Taiji Protector. I have already activated the Solok art and am currently protecting my mind. Chen Xiang was finally going to start refining. Waving his hand, 10 blood ginseng floated into the pill furnaces, and like refining Tianshan Dan, he released the Chuangzhou fire, used the Tai Chi God purification, and started refining the blood ginseng. Just like before, when he used Yanlong furnace and the 9 magic method furnaces to refine pellets, everyone could also see the changes happening inside clearly from the magic method furnace. Now I am going to refine Dragon Blood Saint Dan with all my might. In order to catch up with Feng Yujie, Chen Xiang had immediately released a strong innate ability. The originally ordinary flames suddenly turned into a silver-white color, wrapping the blood ginseng inside the pill furnace. It was the pure dragon blood qi inside the blood ginseng. The blood contract continued to spill and floated upwards, converging at the top of the pill furnace. It slowly rotated and turned into a small cyclone that emitted a weak red light. Other than that, in order to condense more pills, Chen Xiang had also secretly added a bit of the power of the alive slain method, which could duplicate a bit of the blood qi. This way, he would be able to surpass his limits and condense even more pills. Seeing how fierce Chen Xiang was from the beginning, with just a slight burn, he was able to turn the dragon blood Saint Dan into blood qi. Feng Yujie was shocked. She could already tell that Chen Xiang was still hiding his strength, and Chen Xiang did not use that silver flame previously. Feng Yujie blinked and gave Chen Xiang a flirtatious glance. At that moment, Chen Xiang's body trembled, and he almost lost his consciousness. So powerful! Chen Xiang never thought that after using the soul lock art, he would actually almost be defeated. He had just learned the soul lock technique and hadn't mastered it enough, so his defensive power was limited. In order to avoid being disturbed by Feng Yujie while he was refining the pills, Chen Xiang immediately used the power of the spatial laws to form a spatial barrier that enveloped himself and the 10 pill furnaces. This way, Feng Yujie's charm attack wouldn't be able to penetrate his spatial barrier, and would become much weaker. Feng Yujie's charm attack was extremely strange. Previously, Chen Xiang thought that it was a spiritual attack, but after he released the spatial barrier, he realized that Feng Yujie did not immediately use his divine power to attack him, but could continue to disturb his state of mind. A spatial barrier can still have some effect. At the very least, that sort of power isn't that great. Chen Xiang heaved a sigh of relief. At this moment, he was under Feng Yujie's continuous attacks, but under his spatial barrier and the defense of his soul lock art, that kind of bewitching attack did not disturb Chen Xiang from refining the pellet. This kid actually found a way to defend himself in such a short amount of time. He's really amazing! Feng Yujie thought and clenched his teeth. Just when Chen Xiang was relieved, Feng Yujie suddenly took off her pink veil, revealing her beautiful and alluring face, which could captivate the soul. When he saw Feng Yujie's complete appearance, Chen Xiang almost couldn't breathe. It wasn't because he was bewitched by Feng Yujie's beauty, but that face was simply too bizarre. The unceasing bewitching power could penetrate S.P.A.C. and directly attack his mind. Feng Yujie was indeed very beautiful, and could be said to be even more beautiful than Lv Qilian and Su Meiyao, who were at the side. But even so, it was simply impossible to confuse Chen Xiang. Chen Xiang had seen a lot of beauties in the past few years, and there were also quite a few absolute beauties who were on good terms with him, so he would not be confused by the other party's beauty. Right now, it was mainly on Feng Yujie's beautiful face that there was a special kind of power. The moment Feng Yujie took off the veil, Chen Xiang's 10 pill furnaces started to tremble, and Chen Xiang felt a very strong and strange energy suddenly rush ing towards him. Eyes. Chen Xiang immediately closed his eyes. He felt that Feng Yujie's face must contain some kind of mysterious power that was hard to explain. He then used her beautiful eyes to guide him. Anyone who was stared at by her would be attacked by her strongest charm. When Su Meiyao saw that Feng Yujie had revealed her true appearance and used her most charming power to attack Chen Xiang, he realized that Feng Yujie was very focused on winning or losing, but this was not because of face. If it was because of a face issue, Feng Yujie would not do such a shameless action. It was clear that it was for another reason. No one present was stupid. They immediately understood that there must be some sort of bet between Feng Yujie and him, but they did not say it out loud. Chen Xiang, who had his eyes closed, started to tremble. He looked extremely uncomfortable, but Feng Yujie did not seem to have the intention of stopping, because she could not lose. The Solok art is also useless. Chen Xiang's mind surfaced dozens of Feng Yujie's thin clothes. Their entire bodies were naked, and they twisted their chubby bodies that were drenched in thin clothes, dancing in a kind of enchanting dance that would make people intoxicated if they saw it. The evil desire in Chen Xiang's heart was constantly being throbbed and crazily magnified. In order to prevent himself from collapsing, he was using an extremely extreme method to suppress it. Now he understood why a person like Jiang Xing would bow down under the Mei Emperor's dress all those years ago. Now, he had also experienced the power of this charm, and it was truly difficult for one to control it. This charm power must have entered through my eyes. Although I only took a glance, it has already entered into my soul. This is a power that will be tricked the moment I see it, Serpa. Sing the boundary of S.P.A.C. and time. Chen Xiang tried his best to maintain his calm, and at the same time, controlled the pill furnace to stabilize, and lies the powerful charm power of Feng Yujie. As long as he had seen Feng Yujie's face, no matter how much time passed, as long as Feng Yujie was near him and worked, he would be confused. Because from the moment he saw Feng Yujie's face, the charming power of Feng Yujie had already been deeply branded in his mind. Not only him, but everyone else had as well. Before, Feng Yujie had also said that if Chen Xiang wanted to see her appearance, he would only harm himself. If you admit defeat, I will immediately stop. Feng Yujie's voice echoed in Chen Xiang's mind. She was also worried that if this continued, Chen Xiang would get damaged. We will never admit defeat. Chen Xiang responded, and even laughed wildly, making it hard for Feng Yujie to understand. Chen Xiang continued to endure, but he continued to randomly circulate the heavenly alchemy. This actually made him feel better, at least he did not immediately collapse. Feng Yujie clenched her teeth, and continued to work hard at Chen Xiang. Originally, she thought that Chen Xiang would not be able to hold on for long, and that all the pill furnaces would be blown up, but who knew where the 10 pill furnaces were after an hour? In order to deal with Chen Xiang, Feng Yujie had to slow down his pace of refining pills. At this moment, the two were not only competing on pill refining, but also competing on soul. Time slowly passed. Night and day alternated, and very quickly, a day had passed. The crowd by the side transmitted their voices to each other. They did not expect the pill refining compet. 1. Tian to turn out like this, but they admired Chen Xiang's perseverance to last so long. Even Feng Yujie had to admit that Chen Xiang's perseverance was terrifying. She had heard from Su Meiyao and the other daughters that Chen Xiang was an extremely lecherous little demon, but when she used her beautiful illusions to attack him, he did not seem to be distracted at all. Instead, he managed to endure it and blamed Su Meiyao and the others silently, because Chen Xiang was not as shameless as she had imagined. Chen Xiang only needed to continuously circulate the heavenly alchemy's spirit refinement scripture to allow him to constantly stabilize his mind. However, this could only prevent him from being defeated by Feng Yujie. If he were to continue refining the pill, he would have to work even harder. Boundless spirit refinement. Chen Xiang used the infinite refining and the Go daily training method to cultivate his own soul and keep it in an active and constantly increasing state. His goal was to refine the charm imprint that Feng Yujie had branded in his soul so that he would not be able to escape from Feng Yujie's charm power. However, this was not that easy. After trying for several hours, he was only able to gradually stabilize his mind. He was still closing his eyes, but it was not as uncomfortable as before. It was just that he was still sweating profusely. It seems like there's no other way to get rid of her at this point. I can only continue on like this. Chen Xiang's mind still held all sorts of flirtatious thoughts of Feng Yujie. This had appeared in the deepest part of his heart that was the hardest to defend against, a place that attracted the flames of evil in the depths of his heart, wanting to ignite it and cause him to collapse. But now, Chen Xiang could only continue to suppress the flames and at the same time concoct pills. He knew that if he persevered, he would definitely not be able to suppress it, so he changed his strategy. As long as he could refine 10 batches of Dragon Blood Saint Dan, it would be the end. In the bottom of Feng Yujie's heart, he was still wondering when Chen Xiang would be tortured to the point of collapse, but then he realized that the silver fire BALS in the 9 magic method furnace suddenly released waves after waves of blood-red fog. Chen Xiang had actually started. The blood mist within the silver ball of fire leaked out at an extremely fast speed. This was the result of Chen Xiang exhausting all of his ability and urging the flames to quickly refine the blood ginseng. Under the silver flames, the rotation of the Taiji array became faster and faster, and many spirit grain appeared. The blood mist that leaked out from the spirit grain covered the silver fireball, and like a tornado, it quickly gathered at the upper layer of the furnace. Chen Xiang had been tormented by Feng Yujie for an entire day and night, causing him to slow down his concocting speed. However, he was still struggling to hold on and keep the blood ginseng from being burned by the silver flames. No, I have to increase my power. If Feng Yujie didn't have to use her charm power to deal with Chen Xiang, she would refine Dragon Blood Saint Dan very quickly. You have no chance. Chen Xiang felt that Feng Yujie's charm was gradually increasing when he suddenly roared. The 9 magic method furnaces' blood light suddenly erupted. In that short moment, everyone could see the silver flames fiercely strengthen, and then wildly enter the blood ginseng's body, exploding outwards. The expanded blood ginseng turned into pure medicine aura and gathered at the upper layer of the pill furnace. It instantly turned into a cyclone, and then was quickly split into 3 pills. Elvision could not help but shout in shock. Feng Yujie also saw that Chen Xiang's 9 magic method furnace had 3 blood-glowing dragon blood Saint Dan-s. All of these happened very quickly. She never thought that Chen Xiang, who had been distracted by her all this while, would suddenly refine the dragon blood Saint Dan after stubbornly resisting for a period of time. Feng Yujie also saw that Chen Xiang's 9 magic method furnace had 3 blood-glowing dragon blood Saint Dan-s. All of these happened very quickly. She never thought that Chen Xiang, who had been distracted by her all this while, would suddenly refine the dragon blood Saint Dan after stubbornly resisting for a period of time. All of these things were done in an instant, so fast that Feng Yujie did not even have time to react. Aside from that, condensing 3 dragon blood Saint Dan-s was similarly shocking, because Feng Yujie's own limit was also only 2 of them. Feng Yujie retracted her charm attack, causing Chen Xiang to instantly relax, and his face revealed a pleased smile. Twice Feng Yujie lost so thoroughly, especially this time, she even used some underhanded methods, but she couldn't win against Chen Xiang at all. You win. Feng Yujie bit her lower lip and snorted. She was still refining her dragon blood Saint Dan, and had admitted his defeat twice, so the judge who was invited did not need to give any evaluation. After 2 hours, Feng Yujie managed to condense the pellet successfully. She was able to refine 2 dragon blood Saint Dan-s per furnace, and the quality was also not bad. The reason why Chen Xiang came to the Divine Feather Holy Nations was to see Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu, and now that he had met them, and even defeated Feng Yujie, it could be said that the harvest on this trip was extremely plentiful. Seeing that Feng Yujie's beautiful face revealed a trace of fear, Chen Xiang laughed and sent a sound transmission to him. I'll let you fulfill your promise in a while. Don't worry, I'm very gentle. Humph. Furthermore, there was still a contract, and Feng Yujie could not go back on his words. Seeing the mischievous smile on Chen Xiang's face, Feng Yujie knew that Chen Xiang would not show mercy at that time. Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu were still staying here. Although they were strong now, they were still unable to defeat the Mei Emperor. They were now the targets of the Mei Emperor, so they had to stay and raise their strength. Chen Xiang, Elvision, and the others chatted for a while before they returned to Yuming Deep Abyss. Little scoundrel, are you really going to take that Feng Yujie away? Long Shui laughed. Aren't you afraid that Sister Meiyao and the others will scold you to death? Chen Xiang said, I'm not that stupid. Before I figure out Feng Yujie's true identity. 1. I didn't bother to touch her, but when she seduced me previously, I really wanted to eat her. Feng Yujie is indeed mysterious, but she is not a bad person. At the very least, she treats Sister Meiyao and the others very well, just that she is a little mischievous. Long Shui laughed. Chen Xiang, Qi's. Hi Plus and Jiang Xing would arrive not long after he returned. Do you have the whereabouts of the Ice Emperor? When Chen Xiang returned, he was full of anger. He had long wanted to kill 1 or 2 strong of Lord Stage S who partook. 1 P. Aided in the attack on Evil Dragon Graveyard. Yes, they have all entered the Chaos Realm. It is said that their people in the Chaos Realm have sent back news, and some things appeared in the Chaos Realm, so they have all rushed over. Chi Plus said. They have all gone to the Chaos Realm. Isn't this the best time for us to attack them? Long Shui came out of the ring and said in surprise. This is definitely not the best time. After they return, they must have prepared a good plan to defend you. If we attack their holy nations, the forces they left behind will be able to resist us for a period of time. Then, they can quickly return. Jiang Xing shook his head. Huang Jintian said, to capture the thief we should first capture the king. Why not also enter the Chaos Realm, and kill all those great emperors inside one by one, then go back and take off their holy nations? Furthermore, an important treasure has appeared in the Chaos Realm. We must go and take a look. Even if we cannot obtain it, we cannot let them obtain it. Hi Plus and Jiang Xing agreed with what Huang Jintian said. Chen Xiang considered for a moment, then nodded. All right, we will enter Chaos Realm right now. I also want to go in and see what's so miraculous about it. Then let's go now. Jiang Xing took out his boat and they entered inside. He controlled the boat to quickly fly away from Yuming Deep Abyss. Have you guys explored the profound cold ancient realm during this period of time? Chen Xiang asked. There should be many secrets hidden inside. I've been there. I almost couldn't come back that time. Hi Plus immediately said with a trace of lingering fear on his face. What's going on? Long Shui had rarely seen Hi Plus this scared. There are many powerful evil spirits sealed in an area inside. After I did not want to enter that area, I was surrounded by those evil spirits, and then I hid in the east for over a year before finding the exit. When Hi Plus thought back to this moment, his heart still palpitated with fear. I suspect that those evil spirits were formed from the deities who died in there back then. They're guarding that mysterious area, and I think there's something inside. That area was also covered by an extremely powerful divine technique. After entering, one would be able to leave, but it was extremely difficult. None of those evil spirits were able to leave that divine seal. Huang Jintian asked, are those evil spirits the same as the ones in Night Devil Hell? It's not the same. The Night Devil Hells are very weak. However, those evil spirits in the profound cold ancient realm can kill me in an instant. If it wasn't for the fact that I'm lucky, I might not even have had the chance to go to Hell. Chen Xiang asked, why are you going to the profound cold ancient realm? It's all because someone dug out a lot of good stuff during that period of time. They're all things that only the Gods realm have, and I know that there are a lot of things inside that can make people stronger, so I went deeper in to take a look. Who would have thought that it would be so deadly? Hi Plus sighed. This has already been going on for thousands of years. I don't dare go again. If you want to go, you better prepare well. Jiang Xing controlled the boat, and quickly flew to the entrance of the Chaos Realm. Just as they were about to enter, a figure suddenly appeared in front of them, and blocked them. Feng Yujie knew that this was Jiang Xing's boat, and that Chen Xiang was inside. Don't go in! Feng Yujie shouted. Why can't I enter? The emperors of the holy nations have already entered to search for treasures. We cannot be left behind. Jiang Xing said. I just got the news that this Chaos Realm is about to close soon. Once it closes, this Chaos Realm will be completely destroyed. Feng Yujie frowned. Is this true? Xiangyue and Qianqian are still inside. Chen Xiang immediately became anxious. For Feng Yujie to suddenly appear and stop them, it was definitely not because he had nothing to do. I've already found them inside. They are already on their way back. Feng Yujie said, don't worry, many people have already left. The 10 great holy nations' emperor will be out soon. As long as you are inside, you can feel the unstable SPAC. Qin Xiang was extremely confused. Didn't this chaos realm just appear? It's going to be destroyed so soon? Qin Xiang was extremely confused. Didn't this chaos realm just appear? It's going to be destroyed so soon? As Di Tian continued to grow stronger, he would need to absorb the energy from many of these kinds of worlds to become stronger. Not long later, even the endless heaven realm would be devoured, not to mention this little world from before the ancient era. Feng Yujie seemed to understand these things very well. If the Chaos Realm is destroyed, it means that the Chaos Realm cannot continue existing due to the power of Di Tian. In a few more years, the other heavenly realms will end up the same as the Chaos Realm, having their energy sucked dry by Di Tian and then swallowed. Hi Plus asked, "Didn't treasures just appear inside? Why is it about to be destroyed? Isn't this because of the unstable energy inside the Chaos Realm? Originally, it was sealed, but now it is very dangerous. If you don't grasp the timing properly, the Chaos Realm will perish along with you." Feng Yujie said, "It's best if you all don't go in, it's really very dangerous." Qin Xiang looked at the entrance that looked like a gigantic black curtain inside. "Looks like I'm not fated to meet this Chaos Realm. So what are you still doing here? Were you waiting for us?" Huang Jintian asked. "Of course not, I'm just waiting here for the moment Chaos Realm is destroyed." Just as Feng Yujie finished speaking, 10 figures suddenly flew out from inside, as though they were dozens of rays of light shooting out. In the blink of an eye they disappeared into the distance. "It's 10 great holy nations and the rest. They all came out, looks like they know about the situation inside," Feng Yujie said. Qin Xiang looked at the group of holy nations emperors and snorted. "Why are you running so fast? I don't have any plans to kill you yet." At this time, the Chaos Realm door began to shrink and shrink. Waves of berserk energy and rumbling sounds came out from inside continuously. "It's starting," Feng Yujie said. "Once this Chaos Realm is destroyed, it means that something bad is about to happen." "What's wrong?" Huang Jintian anxiously asked. Everyone knew of Feng Yujie's mysteriousness, and now everyone was able to tell. Feng Yujie definitely knew a lot of things. Chaos Realm was a primitive world before the appearance of the 9 Heaven World in the past. It should have been called the Primal Chaos Realm, but it is now getting smaller and smaller. You should know the reason why, right? Feng Yujie looked at the entrance that was unceasingly erupting with violent energy. Hi Plus said, "This is because the 9 Heaven World is becoming more and more powerful, especially Di Tian, who is already far stronger than many of the heavenly realms." "That's right, the destruction of the Chaos Realm is equivalent to being completely swallowed, and the next step is for the Endless Heaven Realm S. Do you think that the Gods above the Gods realm will just sit back and do nothing? Now, it is time for them to discuss on how to handle this 9 Heaven World." Feng Yujie said. "Could it be that the Gods realm is going to intervene and suppress the growth of the 9 Heaven World?" Jiangxing said. "What kind of method will they use? Destroy the 9 Heaven World?" Feng Yujie shook his head. "It's already too late, because the 9 Heaven World and the Gods realm are already linked. Once the 9 Heaven World is destroyed, the entire Gods realm will become extremely unstable, and even Hell will probably not be spared." "How do you know that the 9 Heaven World and the Gods realm are connected?" Huang Jintian asked. This was something no one expected. The Chaos Realm's door had already disappeared, leaving only the berserk energy aura floating around. Feng Yujie sighed. "It's progressing bit by bit. If the Chaos Realm was destroyed, the Endless Heaven Realm would also be annexed very soon. I'm not afraid to tell you that the reason the group of Gods established the 9 Heaven World back then was to eliminate the existing Gods realm. So there is the existence of the 9 Heaven Devil Palace?" Qin Xiang took out a Chaos Fire token. It was something to summon the 9 Heaven Devil Palace. Feng Yujie immediately looked at the Chaos Fire token in Chen Xiang's hands and nodded. The GODS above GODS realm thought that with the death of the group of 9 heavens GODS, 9 heaven world would not have been able to achieve anything. Not to mention that the most important person in 9 heaven world back then, Tian, was destroyed. But who would have thought that when that group of 9 heavens GODS created the 9 heaven world, they had put in a lot of effort and even blended themselves into this 9 heaven world, so the 9 heaven world had always been operating quietly, gathering energy and suddenly strengthening a while ago. Furthermore, a large half of the SPAC had already fused with the GODS realm. Huang Jintian anxiously took out their ancestral book and recorded all of these important things. So you're saying, once the 9 heaven world is destroyed, a gap will appear in the GODS realm? Yes. HI Plus also felt that the situation was serious. This was because for all these years, the reason why HELL Devil Emperor could not use too much of his power in the 9 heaven world was because of the restrictions imposed by the GODS realm. Seeing the serious look on Chen Xiang and the others' faces, Feng Yujie chuckled and said, "It's not as scary as you think. All divine palaces would not be so rash as to let HELL Devil Emperor do whatever he wants here. To the many GODS and all divine palaces, this 9 heaven world is a good place. As long as they are not stupid, they would know that we have to occupy a piece of land here, and not let HELL Devil Emperor come here to destroy it." Long Shui said, "Does the GODS realm's influence have to extend to here?" Feng Yujie nodded his head and said, "It's very possible, but they are still a group of people with more rules, so they shouldn't be able to disturb the original order of this place. After the 9 heaven world becomes strong, excellent GODS will also be born in the future. For the GODS realm's divine hall, this is a pretty good resource." "How do you know so much?" Chen Xiang suddenly asked. "I just know. What can you do about it?" Feng Yujie stuck her tongue out at Chen Xiang. Her current appearance was already covered, and was only used to cover up her ordinary face. Long Shui said to Chen Xiang in a low voice, "I'll go to the Hundreds of Flowers Palace to look for Menger and the rest. I won't be with you for the time being." Long Shui did this to give Chen Xiang and Feng Yujie PAC to talk alone. Only in this way would Feng Yujie be able to talk more. HI Plus and the others also realized something, and immediately said that they had something to do and wanted to leave. Very quickly, only Chen Xiang and Feng Yujie was left. "It's time to keep your promise." Chen Xiang chuckled. Are you really going to do that to people?" Feng Yujie bit her lower lip with a bitter face as she spoke softly. She had actually acted like a spoiled child. "Well, you can only blame yourself for seducing me so. Now I close my eyes and my mind is filled with the wet dance of your legs, your BREASTS and your big, perky ASS. Chen Xiang laughed even more. Feng Yujie felt a wave of bashfulness. She knew perfectly well how she had seduced Chen Xiang, and she also knew very well that her seductive powers were very strong. It was impossible for Chen Xiang to not think of her. Chen Xiang laughed. "Since we have already signed the agreement, it will always be valid. I remember that in order to prevent me from reneging on my words, the contract was extremely harsh. Even the winning side could not give it up." "That's right, but you just need to lock me up in the secret room for 2 hours. If you don't do anything, you'll be able to pass through, or you can even touch me a little. You can stop being like me." Feng Yujie looked at Chen Xiang with a pitiful gaze. "If I know my wrongs, then let me go. If I let you go, what will I do? You should be clear about the depth of the poison you have inflicted on me. Unless you can help me get rid of your enticing power, I will be the only one suffering." Chen Xiang also had a pitiful look on his face. Feng Yujie bit her red lips. At that time, in order to allow herself to win, she had indeed lost her mind, and the seductive power she used on Chen Xiang was extremely powerful, and had already been deeply branded in the place where Chen Xiang's soul was the deepest. It could be said that every so often, she would act up again, and at that time, Chen Xiang would be tormented by that sort of evil desire. There was still a need for someone else to remove the bell, so it was not unreasonable for Chen Xiang to be so certain of her. "Can you give me some time? I'll think of a way to help you. At that time, even if you don't do that to me, I can still deal with it. How about I make Mei Yao be with you, so that when you are in a difficult situation Feng Yujie was unable to continue. "All right, I'll give you a bit of time. I am a reasonable person to begin with." Chen Xiang laughed. "But you have to be quick. You should know, this mental poison is not something that Sister Mei Yao can cure, so I will endure for a while." Hearing Chen Xiang's words, Feng Yujie was immediately happy and anxiously smiled gently. "You're really a good man, it's not as bad as what Sister Mei Yao says. In a while, Big Sis will definitely help you get rid of all these." After saying this, Feng Yujie felt that something was amiss and asked softly, "Are you really that kind to let me go just like that? I keep feeling that what you're doing is really stupid, that the ducks close to your mouth will just be let go like that." Feng Yujie was full of confidence in herself, and she had bewitched Chen Xiang before, so even now, Chen Xiang was still suffering from her bewitching power. Even if Chen Xiang wanted to do something to her, she couldn't say anything, and could only grit her teeth and endure. "I told you I'm not that kind of person." Chen Xiang curled his lips and said, "If you want, then let's quickly find a place to settle this matter. I don't really care anyway." Feng Yujie's background was very mysterious, so Chen Xiang decided to figure out her background first. Furthermore, if Su Mei Yao and Bai Yuyu were to know of this matter, he would definitely find it very troublesome in the future, because they would already treat Feng Yujie as their own mother. "All right, I promise you, sister. As long as it's only 1 year, I won't be able to help you get rid of the charm power in your soul. At that time, I'll use myself to help you deal with it." Feng Yujie was very grateful to see Chen Xiang giving her the chance to speak so easily. Therefore, she praised him by saying that he would make such an alluring promise. Chen Xiang's current situation was not as serious as Feng Yujie had imagined. As long as the seal did not work on Chen Xiang, he could use the spirit lock technique inside the heavenly alchemy to easily stabilize his mind and not be affected by her faintly discernible charm power. Chen Xiang's current situation was not as serious as Feng Yujie had imagined. As long as the seal did not work on Chen Xiang, he could use the spirit lock technique inside the heavenly alchemy to easily stabilize his mind and not be affected by her faintly discernible charm power. It was just that Feng Yujie did not have such a strong soul lock technique like Chen Xiang did, which was why she had mistaken Chen Xiang's situation as very bad. Thinking back to it now, she felt that she had gone too far, and felt extremely guilty. "Aunt Feng, you seem to understand the matters above God's realm very well. Have you ever stayed up there before?" Chen Xiang had already suspected this a long time ago, but what made him even more suspicious was that Feng Yujie was probably a ranker who could have entered the God's realm a long time ago. "I won't tell you." Seeing that she avoided the question, Chen Xiang was sure that this Feng Yujie came down from God's realm. Moreover, he had come down here a long time ago. Chen Xiang curled his lips and said, "So petty." Feng Yujie suddenly pulled Chen Xiang along and flew him to a direction where there was a large piece of ancient forest. Along the way, Chen Xiang asked a few questions, but Feng Yujie didn't even answer them. They continued to fly for more than 2 hours before finally stopping. At this moment, they were at the bottom of a mountain in the depths of the forest. "What did you bring me here for?" Chen Xiang looked around at the towering mountains. The mountains here were all chaotic mountainous, and he had been to this forest before. "Didn't you want to know something about me? I brought you here and told you." Feng Yujie said. Can't you just send me a sound transmission? Chen Xiang laughed. There's no need to come to this kind of place, there's no need to be alone. Feng Yujie scoffed, and her expression became serious. That's because I have something that I want to show you, and that thing cannot be seen by others. She extended her jade-like palm with a transparent pearl on it. It didn't seem to be some kind of mysterious object. What is this thing? There's nothing special about it. Just as Chen Xiang finished speaking, the transparent pearl started to SHI+NE, and there was a silvery white glow inside. In the center of the pearl, there was even a sliver of flickering silver flames. Do you feel that it's a little familiar? Feng Yujie said in a low voice. Now you know what this is. The silver light that the pearl emitted became brighter and brighter, and Chen Xiang also felt a very strange burning sensation. This burning sensation was not because his body was being burned, but because of his soul. Just being struck by this silver light made one feel as though their soul was being roasted. This is a Chuangzhao fire. Chen Xiang also opened his palm, releasing a small silver flame that looked exactly like the one inside the pearl. It was just that the flames Chen Xiang released trembled for a few moments, then immediately extinguished. Back then, a large portion of the lives and energies of 9 Heaven World and the Endless Heaven Realm were burned out by this flame. As for mine, this is the Primal Chaos Fire Soul, which is also my life's Fire Soul. Feng Yujie put away the pearl and said in a low voice, That pearl from earlier was my life's divine deity. What? Chen Xiang said in surprise. Feng Yujie could actually casually take out his own divine deity. Why would I lie to you? Do you know how powerful I am now? Feng Yujie saw Chen Xiang's surprised expression and chuckled. Don't think about bullying me. Chen Xiang said snappily. I've always been bullied by you, but I've never said anything, and I've always let you go. Also, right now, you haven't told me where you're from. Feng Yujie lightly tapped Chen Xiang's head and laughed. You idiot, you still can't guess my ident. 1. Tai, it's already very obvious. Chen Xiang thought about it, then shook his head. He really could not figure out where Feng Yujie came from. The fact that I possess the Primal Chaos Fire Soul shows that I am extremely skilled in controlling this type of flame. Feng Yujie chuckled. I've given you a hint now, you should be able to guess it. With this hint, Chen Xiang thought for a bit, then her face became startled as she looked at Feng Yujie, who was giggling. One of the creators of the 9 Heaven World. Chen Xiang was stunned for a long time before shouting in shock. This was something he had never thought of before, and if it was really so, then what kind of ident? 1. Tai did the Mei Emperor have? Feng Yujie stuck out her tongue and laughed. Did I get scared? Actually, I am not really one of the creators, I was just a little girl in 9 Heaven Divine Palace back then. Chen Xiang said. Then what about Mei Emperor? Didn't you say that she came to this world together with you? That's right, we weren't born in a normal way. I've told you before that I was born in the same crystal ball as you. It's just that she was born in a black crystal ball, and the ones that created us are the 9 Heavens Divine Palace. Feng Yujie sighed. Meiming Yen Jing and I are not finished products, we are just existences that were discovered, but that group of G.O.D.S. treated us very well, and treated us like disciples, and trained us, and when we possessed decent strength, they would bring us to create this world, and at that time, I would have already grasped the Chuangzhao fire, and would have helped a lot. It was only then that we realized that I had heavily injured her, causing her to sleep for a very long time. However, when she woke up, she had caught up to the incident at 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord, and because of some things I was unable to stop her, and that caused the destruction of Tian. At that time, my masters and the others' plan failed, so I never thought that Tian would be reborn, and that it would be so perfect. Recalling the past, Feng Yujie's expression was complicated, the emotions of happiness, sadness, longing and loneliness all suddenly surfaced in his heart. Chen Xiang still did not believe him, and shook his head. didn't that group of Ds all die inside the 9 Heaven Devil Palace? That's right. Feng Yujie lamented. Only I survived. Even to this day, I still don't understand why before they died, they used all their power to send me out of the 9 Heaven Devil Palace. They exhausted the last of their strength and sent me out. However, I also had a hidden disease at that time, and I'm much better now. Chen Xiang stared at Feng Yujie. If what Feng Yujie said was true, then Feng Yujie was a genuine and powerful G.O.D.S. I can't believe it. Doesn't that mean the Mei Emperor is very powerful? Chen Xiang suddenly started to worry. There was such a powerful woman causing trouble in the 9 Heaven world. This was a disaster.